tried to ignore the question.
The question.
Yeah, smart. Man, we got a story of cousins when it was like 2:30 in the morning, Hyde Park in the city, and we're in the corner, and we were like 17 riding our bikes around, thinking we were cool from our mate's house, riding down to Macca's. And man, we seen him in the corner, like, that's cousins. And he was 100% getting drugged. In the corner, and we're like, "Oi, Benny!" And he's like, "Hey!" And started chasing us through Hyde Park. Cycled out. Yeah, there was like 4 of us, and we cycled straight back to my mate's house, and like we're never going for a cycle around Hyde Park again. It was 17-year-old, 16-year-old kids.
Why, bro?
That's insane.
Was he fast?
Well, we were on a bike, and we were probably like 50 metres away, and we could kind of like yelled out, and he kind of ran towards us, and we just like gapped it on the bike, and then he kind of just stopped, and we're like, "Fuck, let's just keep going."
Yeah, that's fucking scary.
He was on something, man.
Yeah,
like really wide eyes.
Yeah, he was fine, hey, 100%.
Guys, welcome back to Breakthrough Conversations. My name is Brett English.
My name is Ryan Ortega.
And we've got Sarush Hedazada on the panel today, guest speaker, back again. The Yogi.
The Yogi.
Good to be here.
Yeah, sexy man over there. And we've got Jordan Doropoulos from Peace Be The Journey.
Yeah, Peace Be The Journey Wellness.
Nice,
yeah,
man.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, man. Good. Pleasure to have you, bro. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Grateful to be here.
Can we start with the name?
Yeah.
How
Well,
did that come about?
Peace Be The Journey Wellness. There's a bit of a background story there. So when I was younger, I used to travel around Australia or and stuff for football or for soccer.
Oh, wow.
My dad would always say Cool Runnings to me. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Cool Runnings, but like,
who hasn't, man?
It's a
classic movie.
It's a classic, dude. I haven't seen it.
Oh, no.
I haven't seen it, bro.
Cool Runnings. Culture,
Cool
man.
Runnings,
I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
It's
I'm hanging back then, I'm watching it too.
We've got some blankets there.
Yeah, so that's so pretty much there. Long story short, they get to naming this bobsled, the Jamaican bobsled team, and they go like to their captain, "What are we going to call it?" He goes, "Cool Runnings." What does that mean? Peace be the journey. So my old man would always say to me, you know, like, "Cool runnings on your trip, like peace be your journey." And I was like, "Okay, sweet." And then I got it tattooed on me in my sleeve because it's mine and my dad's saying.
Hell yeah.
And then I was trying to figure out a name for my wellness company, and I was like, "Well, it's been with me all along."
Wow.
And then
I love that. Bro.
that's it. That's sort of where it stemmed from.
That
Beautiful.
touched me, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that real freaking origin story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna cry while watching Cool Runnings.
Yeah, there's so much behind this movie now. A Disney movie with so much meaning.
Why did that stick to you? Like, peace be your journey. Why did that stick to you? Why was it so significant to you?
Because I think trying to find peace in any of the journey, it's quite. I was actually just read this quote last week about saying find joy in the journey of where you're going, not the destination.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are rushing to get around and rushing to get elsewhere, and they're not really enjoying where they are. And I find when you stop and be present, you start to find more peace.
Yeah.
And you find a lot more joy in that journey of where you want to go. So it really resonates with me. And it's also just like that safe journey. Have a safe journey. Be present, be peaceful, enjoy it, and enjoy where you're going, not just like where the end destination is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of why it really resonated with me, and it still continues to resonate with me. I see it in so many ways for what I do on a day-to-day basis, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's just one of those things that you hear a lot of people talking about, that the journey is more important than the destination.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you falling in love with the journey is the way to get to the destination.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just noticing all the little things along that journey. Like, so many people, I guess, are just in such a rush to get there, and they just miss so much that's along the way.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many little things or little destinations this is my end goal, but along the way, all these little beautiful things that happened to help you get to this maybe bigger picture or bigger goal, or beautiful people you've met.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's very true. I think the book, The Alchemist,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's about the journey and like prior to him to getting to the destination and everything that he goes through.
Yeah.
I think that hits the book right on the spot.
Yeah, that is a very. I've read that book twice. That is a beautiful book. Beautiful author too.
Yeah, is it Paul?
Paul Cacao, yeah.
Yeah. Is South American?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure where he's originated from, but yeah, he's wrote a few good books.
I think that. Where did I get that book? Oh, it's from Will Smith.
Oh yeah.
Damn, he didn't follow it, bro.
No, he was not following peace the other week, was he?
He was not at peace with his
Nah, definitely not.
But can I ask you about the question, actually, this goes to all of you. With that slap that Will Smith did, do you reckon that was orchestrated? Like that was all just an act for their, own, for their own marketing or social media or whatever it may be? Like
100%.
Or that was like a genuine spur of the moment thing?
Yeah, I reckon it was.
Orchestrated.
I reckon it was orchestrated.
Yeah.
And then the backlash now that comes out with it of him getting dropped here, there, and everywhere, which that has to come. So whether it's orchestrated or wasn't orchestrated, either way, that has to come. Because
true.
If it didn't come, then they'd be like, well, why didn't it come?
Real life.
Yeah. Sort of thing, you know.
I was in two minds about it. I was like, at the beginning, I was like, this is kind of fake. And then I watched it again. I'm like, I don't know if it's fake anymore. Like he got dropped from the Grammys.
Yeah, the Oscars.
For like 10 years or something, isn't it? He's been banned for like 10 years.
Something hectic like that. And I don't know.
That is a pretty big ban, actually.
Yeah, but he already won it. You know what I mean? Like he already won the Oscar on that same day, and then he gets banned for 10 years. I'm like, I'm alright, man. Like it's not really going to impact his career.
If I still win it, I still win it. It just means I can't be there to win it. Is that not what it is?
Like, No, it's like you can't win an Oscar, or you just can't go there to be there.
I'm not sure.
100%
sure either.
I don't know how it works. But as soon as he started swearing, I was like, they're not allowed to swear like during the Grammys and stuff like that. He was just swearing like, you know, just like F this, F that, you know. And I was like, I don't usually see that, so that's what kind of put me off the edge as well. I'm like, I don't know if this is real.
Especially from him. He's always been so calm and happy and like, you
Big
know.
time. Yeah.
You can tell there's like the frustration on his face as well. I don't know if it's really good acting or.
I mean, he won an Oscar. How do you tell, you know?
So true.
He won an Oscar for his acting, so
Yeah, that is so true.
It's hard to tell.
I just listened to his like book, like would have been like a month ago, I reckon, or 2 months ago as well. Yeah. And I was like so out of character for him. Yeah. Especially coming from that book, you're like, whoa. Like he's changed so much in his life and gone such a big journey to get to where he's at today. And you go, wow, like that's very out of character for someone like you, or the way you say you believe or live your life. Do you know what I mean? Like the way you say your life's been your beliefs and the way you now have transformed into. That was very
hypocritical.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's Hollywood, man.
Yeah, well, that's all.
Not as bad as Harvey Weinstein, but
so true.
Oh man, actually, can I ask you, dude? Because I heard before you were doing this the whole wellness journey. You were an electrician, electrical fitter.
Yeah.
What was that? What were some of the things that made this big pivot for you into this space?
Oh well, man, where do I start? So the big push, which is I guess is sort of what I really needed at the time, to get out of the electrical industry and to follow something that I've been passionate about pretty much my whole life, or I've always been involved with my whole life in certain aspects, was the mandates. So those mandates for the FIFO was like, okay, and that was like a big push to get me out of there. And then, but I think it was all meant to be, sort of a thing. Like that was it came at the right time for me because I literally just finished the project I was running, so I could hand the project over. I didn't leave my old company in any struggle or anything like that. So I finished that project literally as the mandate ended. Came in. So I was like, okay, so that's kind of pushed me out. And I went, well, this is worked out really well for me in the sense that now I can follow my passion, follow my career, follow something that I really want to do. And then so that kind of made me have a massive cut from there. But there was times up there when I was like, the more I realized, once I knew the mandate was coming and stuff, the more I realized I wanted to get out of it, the more I started repelling FIFO, started repelling being up there, started not enjoying it at all. Like as much as I would meditate daily, would journal, do yoga up there, I just hated being on site. The people you're surrounding yourself with, like a perfect example was when I told my friends and family, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to open a wellness company, follow passions, follow something I've done for so long. I've got so much love, so much support, so much like, this is awesome. Like you do what you want to do, that's great. And you'll make it work. Up north, as soon as I'm going into these big meetings with other managers and stuff, the project managers, this and that in there, like, why isn't your electrical team doing this? Everyone's real testosterone, angry. Some money, everything comes from ego and money driven. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all there. And then they go, why do you want to go become your wellness company, your yoga instructor? You're not going to make the money you're making up here. That was their first response. Why do you want to do that? Why are you going to give up money like this? Like, man, if I succeed in what I want to do, it doesn't matter Price doesn't matter. And what's to say I won't? What's to say I won't make myself make that much money or make even more money by doing something I love? If you're passionate about something, you make it work, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And that was a big point when I went, yeah, okay, I've really made the right decision.
They're pushing you away even
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
surprised they tried to belittle you straight away and like put you down, like instant, trying to shut you down.
Man, that is FIFO to a T up there, and it's super hard. I see it so much. I see it on. I would always speak to my boys if you ever want to chat. Like one of our boys went through a bit of a hard time. I said to him, I was there for him. Like we'd sit back, have a cup of tea once everyone left dinner and stuff like that. He was struggling a bit up north and that. Man, it's hard up there. You're isolated. You got no family. You go back to your room. If everyone's finished their dinner or whatever, you just go straight back to your room. You're in your room by yourself, 4 walls. And for some people, like that can be really hard. A lot of people just turn to alcohol up there. Yeah. Just we go out there, we just eat a lot of food, we just drink, then they can just go straight to bed because they don't have to think about anything.
Is there any wellness programs up there or anything like?
Well, they're trying to. Bigger companies are trying to implement that. Yeah, trying to implement some wellness things and whatnot. But a lot of the smaller companies that are building camps or building mines from scratch, they don't have that. You go out there. Some places we go out to, man, we're lucky to have like water out there, pretty much. Do you know what I'm saying? You're in the middle of nowhere, building a camp, starting a mining camp up. There's nothing. Sometimes you're in caravans, you're in trailers, and like the closest town to you is like an hour and a half away. So you're in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes you'd have to drive from your town an hour and a half or an hour out to your site, and then you do work for your day, and then you drive back an hour back to where you're going to sleep at night, and you're doing 12 to 14 hour days.
You'd be wrecked.
Man, and your body's in fight or flight the whole time. You're operating on this outer world like you're in robot, full robot. So like you can see where people that maybe are conscious, they go, okay, well I know I need to be able to speak and be open or read or do things that are better for me to keep me sort of sane up there. But you can see the people that aren't, man, turn to drinking, turn to like, they'll just watch TV and movies, or they'll just do stuff to numb their brain so they don't have to really focus on what's going on, if you know what I'm saying.
And not be there.
Yeah, exactly. They're not there. They're nowhere near. And they will just rock up to work, go back to bed. Work, bed, get home, be angry and think, you know what I mean? Like they just, you can see if one thing went wrong, they would like react straight away. Especially in the meetings, like they'd be like, why didn't you get your electrical team to do this? I'm like, oh, yesterday you wanted me to do this. I've got all my team here doing this. And now you're getting angry because this isn't done. What do you want from me? I'm only human.
Exactly like that. How calm is you're an asshole.
Legit. Man, I just like, what do you want from us? Like we've got this, like you can't. And then it's like, but that's what it's like up there. And it's like, I'm like, man.
Projecting, blaming.
Pointing the fingers. It's so easy to point the finger at someone else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when money gets involved. You've got people from Perth yelling at you, why isn't this part done? Why isn't that part done? We've got the people flying in from, I don't know, interstate, overseas to look at the camp or look at the mine at where it's at. Why are we not here at this scheduled date? And it's like, well, you know, like with COVID, we've got no material shortages, we've got all these other things, but so they get a pressure from Perth, and it's just like this toxic cycle.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really think there should be a lot more push for wellness up in the mines, big time. But it's slowly getting there, I think. I believe it's slowly getting there, but it's just not, it's not something that's really been pushed too heavily at the moment. Yeah, definitely. And I can definitely notice it and see it on the site. I'll never go back working FIFO ever again, ever. I might go up there if I was to run a wellness day or something. Bloody oath, I'd love to go up there and stay one night. But I would never work FIFO again, hand on heart. No, if I was broke as batshits, I would still not take however much money you get a week up there.
True.
No.
How long did you work there for?
So I've done it since coming back from Canada. So I came back from Canada because of COVID, sort of came back to Australia, and then worked there for, would have been a year and a half, just over a year and a half, like full-time working FIFO. And then, when I first got back, I was like, I want to get in the mines, get some money, blah, 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 be good, save up, and then I can go traveling again. But man, when you're up there, you just mental state just goes. And you come back, you work for 14 days straight, you come back, you're knackered the first day you get home. Then most people get back, they like just blow their money, just go drinking, partying, catching up with all the mates they do. And then usually have like 2 days, not necessarily, I'll go away, I'd probably try to go like to we went to Stirling Ranges and you go out hiking for a few days and stuff. By the time you get back, you have a day's rest and you go back up and you're working 14 days straight again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you do that for a whole year.
So I've had like clients who've been doing it for like maybe 10 to 15 years, man. And I'm just like, bruh. Like,
you can see it in them. You can see they're weathered, they're tired, they're exhausted.
Yeah.
Their body, their physical body, the way they hold themselves up, they've been in it for so long, they know nothing else.
Yeah.
They don't want to release, lose that money, because it's good money. It's great money. You're working hard, but it's good money. So they're now living a lifestyle where it's like a lot of money's coming in. They don't want to sacrifice that lifestyle, so they just keep doing it. They know nothing else.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, 10 years is gone, 12 years is gone, 15 years is gone. Well, how does your relationship affect your wife, your partner, your kids, your family, your friends, everyone else? You can't come back. You cannot come back, have a week off, and then see your friend, your partner, your family, you're this, you're that, you're blah, 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 within a week. Yeah. And then have you time and have some time for yourself and do something you want to do. It's impossible. Yeah. So then you start losing these relationships or missing out on a lot of things. It's your birthday, this birthday, that thing, but you're working away. And then I guess it just comes to what are your beliefs? What do you want in life? Do you want to be there and be around friends and family and loved ones and be there for your friends' birthdays and really enjoy this life that we got? Or do you want to miss all those things and then 15 years down the track go, fuck, I've got 2 big houses, a couple of jet skis, boats, cars, but I've missed out on a whole lot.
A whole lot of life,
It's always that sacrifice, right?
Yeah. Money can't buy memories, man. No way.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
It's
what I
very
mean?
difficult to like maintain a relationship when you're doing mines.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I can't imagine them being able to sustain like a just a personal relationship or to even sustain a partner long term when they're in the mines.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It's hard walking away from money.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Especially when you've got mortgages and debt. Things
That's
like
it.
that, you're held bondage to it.
Yeah.
And even if you're making that kind of big money, I suppose when they lose it, they lose everything. You know? So it's like, what's the point of having it if you don't have a plan to get out?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's it. Plan to get out. That's the big thing that I'll say to people if they're looking to go into the mines for a little bit. Don't just say, I'm going to go into the mines for a little bit. Have your plan to get out. Because you go into the mines for a little bit, a lot of people, if you're not conscious enough to go, well, I need to step back now, it'll be the 10-year mark.
Yeah.
And they're like, now, what am I doing? Whereas if you go, okay, I've got a set mark, I'm going to do this for, I don't know, say 2 years, then it hits 2 years, then you can go, okay, you're with your partner, with your family, you're going to reassess 2 years' time. We've saved this much money, we've got what we wanted to do, are we happy with this? Yeah, great. Or maybe we do 6 more months and then we can just pay this section off and then you come back, you're good. Yeah. But have that mark to reset and go, okay, where we're at, yeah, good, let's go from there.
100%.
Yeah. You need a way out, you know what I mean? Definitely.
I know someone that's on like above 20 years in the mines right now. It's insane.
Man, I don't know how
And he's doing a whole bunch of wellness stuff, like when he comes off, and
Yeah.
like supplements and everything else, just to keep him from not deteriorating.
Yeah.
You know, but he can tell that it's taking a toll on him.
Yeah.
And he's like mid 40s.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like I can't leave, you know, because he's so over 20 years, like you're warped into it, and you're just like so identified with everything and the money and everything else. And he's got mortgages and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
You just know nothing else,
Yeah.
hey?
Yeah, you really
Unfortunately, you
don't.
don't. You know nothing else. And a lot of people, like, the biggest thing is afraid to change, you know?
Yeah.
It's so comfortable knowing what FIFO's like. It's easy, this is it, it's my routine, I know what I'm doing. Well, if I change, that's scary.
Yeah.
People don't want to face that change.
Yeah, especially after 20 years, man.
Yeah.
20 years, that's like a little bit becomes part of your identity, man.
Yeah.
it does, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was in the electrical industry for 10 years now, and now I've like pushed that aside, and it's like 10 years, like that's all I've known.
Yeah.
You know, you go do your apprenticeship, you do your thing, and build your way up to try get to a position where like, yeah, okay, like I've got some responsibility in my back now, I'm making good money, I've built all this up, and it's like, but how far do you want to go with it? Like, if that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, then great. But yeah, it just wasn't me. I'm like, 10 years. I've learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change anything. I've grown, I've learned, got to travel, went to New Zealand, and I ran a project over there.
Nice.
Met the most amazing boys over there, had an awesome crew, had such a great time over there, living in New Zealand, exploring New Zealand, made enough money that took me to New Zealand, to Europe, travelled back through Europe, went through Canada, was living in Canada, so you can't say that it was always a bad thing, but it's just like, you've just got to be able to sum it up, I guess, just be like, you're happy with where you're at, sort of a thing.
Yeah. How was your experience in Canada?
Oh man, one hell of a place.
Yeah.
I done, so I started snowboarding in New Zealand, loved it straight away, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna go to Canada and then do like my teacher training, become a snowboard instructor over there.
Dope.
So I did it, and I was like, before COVID hit. And it was like the mountain was open for 96 days. I spent, I think it was 84 days on the mountain.
Yeah.
So I was there, I was snowboarding, I'd done my snowboard training, then I was teaching snowboarding on the mountain, and I was working at a bar at night.
Yeah.
And had the best time. So much fun. The people there, it was like mini Australia, living in Whistler. I'm not gonna lie. It was mini Australia, but it was sick. Like it was definitely a party place, that's for sure. Like a lot of partying went on, which was good fun. But
was that Toronto?
No, just outside Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just outside Vancouver. Yeah. So, but it was like awesome. Like the mountain there, like Whistler back home's got like 2 mountains, 2 peaks, and you can snowboard down 2 mountains throughout the day. So you can come down off 2 mountains to meet in the one town. And it's just unbelievable. It's like we went backcountry skiing one day, and then we camped out the night in the snow. So we built a snow cave, and you like literally lit a candle to warm you up, and you slept out in the snow in like 0 degrees overnight. Slept out in the snow. You had all like your food on you. Build like a kitchen setup. So like you dig all the snow out, and you build these tables so you can sit on the snow and you cook your food and stuff, man. Like hectic. Wow. And then dug this snow cave out. Slept in the snow cave. And then like came out the next day and then just kept, so you would like, we were snowboarding, so you'd skin, so your board would come in half, split in half and it would turn into skis. You put carpet on the back of it and you like hike up these mountains through the snow and you got to the back and then you just go there. We hung out there like all afternoon. There was like little mountains there you could snowboard down, stayed the night there. Then the next day we just like bombed down the whole mountain, like where no one else can go, no one else is there.
How fast do you reckon you're going when you're going down that mountain?
Oh, I've clocked 81 Ks. That's the quickest I've snowboarded, yeah.
That'd be a rush and a half.
Yeah, I'd like to clock the big 100 one day, but yeah, 81 Ks is...
And it's just like clear snow, there's no like trees or anything like that, no hazardous...
Out where we were there was trees because you're in the back country, but when I was bombing down a flat part and I had like my board pretty waxed up and I was like, and I reckon I could have got, when you're going quick, I just kind of started shitting myself. So then I was like, oh, I need to slow down. But yeah, I reckon you could go quicker. It's just, you just got to hold it.
How's the maneuverability when you're going about 80?
Oh, bro, you don't move. You do not, you straight line. You just, you tuck your whole body down, you've got your knees in, you're holding this one line and you're looking forward and you literally just keep your nose, your board up a little bit. And you find that kind of groove where your board's sort of flat and nice and not catching any edges. And then you're just bombing it down. Because if you hit an edge there, bang, game over. You're going to be hurting. Yeah. So, and then you kind of just flick the board out at the very end and then like lift your toes and land on your heels real quickly. Just slow yourself down. You kind of just slide about 10 meters like that. And then you kind of come back to being like a normal snowboarder, like everyone's just cruising through.
Damn, man. That sounds insane.
Yeah, good fun. Canada was, awesome. I thought I was going to be back super quick. I thought it was like, what's this COVID thing, blah, blah, blah. Like, just go home for a couple of months, come back to Canada, I'll be sweet as.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. 2 years later, still chilling here.
Because Canada got super messy as well, though.
Yeah.
That whole COVID thing. At least from what I saw, it just looked real hectic, man.
Yeah, all my mates that like stayed over there, all the Aussies, they just went on an asparagus farm, just picked asparagus out. Picked asparagus. They was like, this is sick. They were out there, like they were just drinking every night. A whole group of Aussies out on this farm, just picking asparagus all day long.
The life, man.
Yeah, I was like, man, you guys beat COVID. That's sick. That is sick.
I was gonna say in New Zealand, did you go to the like Lord of the Ring type?
Yeah, Hobbit the movie set. Yeah. So that's like down towards Hamilton Way. Can't remember, gone blank now. But yeah, I did go there. That was Hobbiton set was awesome. Wow. Yeah, it was pretty cool to check out.
Amazing.
And there's like, man, New Zealand's unbelievable. Like the mountains and the water and just the thing there, it's just so fresh and pure. You can literally be like, I was living in Auckland, but you could be half an hour outside of Auckland and you don't even know you're near a city. Yeah. Like it's just mountain ranges or just the oceans there, the mountain tops, the lakes, you can go swimming in the lakes, freshwater lakes and stuff, and the natural springs and everything. Like honestly, man, it's one of the most underrated countries. So many people kind of bypass it, but I'm like, man, New Zealand, it's so close to us as well, and like so many people don't go check it out.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. And it's funny because America actually gets a lot of products from New Zealand. You know, like the meats and everything else, and certain stuff because they're like pasture fed and like organic and you know they're not contaminated by a whole bunch of other shit.
Man, it's super clean, super pure there. There's just one place down near Hamilton as well, which is about 3.5 hours out of Auckland, and like Blue Water Springs. And you go down there and you literally get your water bottle, you put it in, and then you take it out, and that water right there serves 97% of New Zealand.
Wow.
It's a natural spring, completely clear, and you drink that water. That's it. And
No fluoride.
bro, it's the most clear, cleanest, freshest water you have. But it stays, is it 12 or 11 degrees all year round? No matter how hot or cold it gets, it just stays at the same temperature all year round.
Oh, that's refreshing.
That's
It's
hydration.
super.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's
The
nice,
vortex is there, everything is there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so, and I think it's like 97% of New Zealand gets its water from this one spring.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was speaking of water, I was looking in Jason Momoa's page, and he's come out with his own like brand of water, and it's like from aluminium bottles instead of plastic bottles.
Oh, yeah,
But I don't know if he's from, like, do you know Jason Momoa? Yeah, Aquaman.
Yeah.
I don't know if he lives in Hawaii or if he lives in New Zealand. I thought it was New Zealand water that he was getting and sourcing, but it might be Hawaiian water.
I'm pretty sure it's
But isn't aluminium actually toxic as well?
It is toxic, yeah. But I think more biodegradable than plastic.
Okay, sure.
Or like,
The lesser of two evils.
Yeah, I wonder how much of legit. I wonder how much aluminium actually gets into that water. Then you'd wonder, wouldn't you?
especially if you leave it.
Leave it for
Yeah.
sun.
Even
Yeah.
aluminium foil, like you touch it and you get heavy metals into your body just from touching aluminium foil.
Oh, really?
It used to be tin foil made from tin, but now it's aluminium and it's actually toxic.
So was tin a
Like,
better alternative?
Tin's a way better alternative. Aluminium is literally toxic to the body. It's like, I think it's aluminium, mercury, lead, all those things. are
Copper.
toxic to the
Arsenic.
body.
Yeah.
Arsenic.
Yeah.
But I think it's aluminium and mercury are the two worst ones for you.
Yeah, wow. I've got so much like copper, aluminium and that in my body. I went and got
really?
my hair follicles done.
really?
Because working as an electrician, you're working with copper and aluminium all day long, touching the cables.
true.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
I'm stripping the cables, I'm putting the cable in my mouth whilst I'm holding this thing. You know what I mean? Not even thinking about it.
Wow.
10 years and I went to the naturopath and got my samples done, and I was like, wow, like through the roof.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Wow,
I was
man.
just like,
Have you had the medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie?
no, I haven't yet. I actually
get
just
on it,
listened.
bro.
Yeah. I was listening to Jay Shetty's recent podcast when he was talking to, I think, Miranda Kerr. She was talking about that smoothie then. And I was like,
yeah, nice.
I was literally
Miranda
listening to it
Kerr,
on the way here. Yeah.
Damn, interesting.
Boy, she's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never listened to Jay Shetty. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
man, he's awesome. He's really good. And yeah, he interviewed her. It's his latest one. And I listened to it on the way here.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's actually like, took me by surprise. I just thought she was like,
Me too.
this, like, this supermodel, like,
No, I've like, because I knew she was dating Orlando Bloom in the past, and I found her page like 10 years ago, and I was like, she was talking about some health stuff, and she was like talking about the 80-20 rule, like she does 80% health and 20% indulgence.
Yeah.
And I was like, I resonate with that. And I realized that her mum is in Perth.
Yeah.
And she runs a health food shop here.
yeah.
So I was like, whoa, and they're all into like organic stuff and like local
Oh,
stuff and whole food
true.
stuff. And I was like, this is wild right now.
She's done heaps like certifications to become like and learn a lot about it as well. Like she's like real healthy, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like all the natural thing,
You
all
can
that. And I
tell
was just
by her,
by
glow.
figure, yeah.
I was gonna say that, but that's like the aura.
yeah, the aura. That's what I meant as well.
Oh man.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. No, I've never got into Jay Shetty. I think like, I don't know, for some reason I was just like, I don't know, I just don't like his podcast. But then again, I've only listened to like 15 minutes, and then I just end up watching something else.
Have you read his book?
No, I've never read his book.
Really beautiful way of incorporating yogic philosophy,
Yeah.
Buddhist philosophy, how the monks live into a Western world. He puts it up very beautifully because he's seen both. He obviously brought up in the Western world and then kind of indulged into where he needed to go for this monk life, and then like would travel to and from the monasteries in summer holidays and stuff like that. And then eventually he's like, I'm going to go become a monk. And when he became a monk for however many years it was, 2-3 years or whatever, and now he's come back into the Western world and he's now built up this platform where he speaks from having a balance of both and how you can incorporate that monk lifestyle into the Western world and how this is kind of goes about, which is, I think, is quite relevant to most. It's very
interesting.
It is
Yeah,
very
I'll listen to
interesting.
it.
Yeah, and have a highlighter, bro, because I like highlight that book and I'm like, man, I just know it all. Like he just like, I'm trying to highlight main areas, but like the whole thing's just highlighted. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, this guy's, he's smart. He's smart.
Like a modern day monk kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
A modern day
Modern-day
monk.
monk.
Yeah, that's a good way to sum it up. What a man, eh? I'd love to be a modern day monk. Shit.
I was like modern family, modern day monk.
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
sick.
I used to be a big follower of his when he first came out, like his first videos on Facebook and that kind of stuff. And then when he got really big, I just like dropped off. I don't know. I don't know why, but he blew up really fast actually.
He did blow up
His
very
first
quickly.
video ever on YouTube was like 300,000 followers. And
What,
millions.
really?
His first video ever, or the one that's remained. I went all the way like to the beginning, and I could see how he did it. He used all these different celebrities and over like really good editing and like his what do you call it? A voiceover, and he just went viral, man. This guy just took off.
Wow.
But he's obviously super smart at marketing, man, and super intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming back to you again, man.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about your experiences with spirit and how they've guided you, or how they sort of pushed you into this?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. For me, I've been meditating from the age of 15. So I used to struggle a lot when I came, like when I went into England for football trials and stuff like that. It's away from family and that. And before going there, even just trials, like for state trials or anything like that, you'd get super nervous and stuff. Mum's like, start listening to Louise Hay, like affirmation tapes at night. So I started to listen to them at night, and they like calm me down a little bit. She's like, try like meditating to calm yourself down so you're not as nervous. Man, reap the benefits straight away. And I was like, wow, this really helped me, especially when I was in England, away from family, friends, no one there, like the only Aussie in the team, out in trials and stuff. And you're like, okay,
That's
awesome.
soccer, right?
Yeah,
that's
soccer.
huge.
So, and I was like, yeah, and it really helped me connect with myself. I wasn't really aware that I was connecting with myself. It just helped me remain calm. But I guess I was really just allowing my guides, my spirits and everything to be in. And I felt that massively. Like if I wasn't meditating the day before, or like the day of the game and stuff like that, and listening to Louise Hay the night before, I would go out and I'd just be real nervous on the field.
Wow.
Whereas when I was playing, and then I was a lot more calm when I was meditating. So I continued to do that all like throughout from then, sort of a thing. And then it kind of just kept stemming and going from there, where it was like, when you go to 18, 19, I was still meditating every day, but then you start partying, you start doing all these different things. And at the same time, I always thought I was doing the right thing by meditating, but would kind of counterbalance maybe drugs or partying or all this stuff that you were doing. It was like, okay, if I did this, this is still good for me. But I felt like I was connecting, but I wasn't really. But whenever I did, I would start my meditation calling in my guides. So I would always speak to the guides that I work with, but I couldn't work with them then. It doesn't just happen overnight. But I would always have this opening statement before I meditated that I would repeat. I would always repeat this meditation no matter what. When I moved to New Zealand, I went through a bit of a wild journey with party drugs and stuff like that. And I just thought, yeah, look, I meditate every day. I do yoga a lot. Like, this is sweet. Like, it's all good. It's balancing out. It wasn't really. It was nowhere near good. And I wasn't getting anywhere near the potential that I am getting now when I meditate and when I do yoga and find myself. But I still kept it the same. I still called in the same guides. I spoke to the same archangels. I called in my spirits, my thing. And my mum's quite spiritual, so I've always been around all of that. I've gone to spiritual healers from a very young age and learnt and been able to get Reiki healings, get all this energy moving and healing. So I've always been around it. I guess I was kind of just pushing it away because I was scared. Maybe I was a bit scared. I think I was probably a bit scared to just go in the dark end because, man, from a very, very young age, I could hear spirits. Like up until sort of the age of 5, where I was like, be nightmares, I'll be screaming, like holding my ears. I'm like, stop talking to me, and mum and dad would run down, like they couldn't understand, and I literally was screaming to say, stop talking to me. Like the voices in my head, I could hear them talking. These spirits were going crazy, and I was like, wow. And it wasn't, I guess maybe I shut all that off at the age of 5. Something happened, we went through something, I shut it all off. And I guess maybe it was my subconscious mind again, being a bit afraid of what might happen if you start becoming a bit spiritual, or if you start tapping in a little bit more through a meditation or through that.
That fear of like losing control of your own ability to think.
Oh man,
when you're being spoken to. Big
time, and it's scary. That world's scary because like you don't know what it is. Like people tell you like there's a dark side to things and stuff like that. And I was always afraid. Like I'd never do acid and stuff because I was like, man, what if I got stuck in a trip? There's that whole dark side. Like so there's always that fear of like. I'm not saying acid's good, but I'm just saying like, when I was partying and stuff, people were like, let's do this and that, and like I'll go to festivals, I'll do everything else, but I wouldn't do like acid and stuff. I'm like, no way, I can't lose that much control because.
True, yeah.
You know, like that, I was just super scared.
Because you had that experience as well, like when people speaking to you, you'd know that maybe this drug could open you up differently to them.
Yeah.
Your abilities are different. I have heard that LSD can put sort of holes in your aura, and if you're already psychic, then you can literally see, hear spirit, and then how do you shut them out again?
Yeah.
Without that skill set to close that door.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't. Maybe they break the door open and that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. My mum would always say, like, be careful, like, stop. She knew I was doing drugs, obviously. She's very spiritual, and she'd be like, she'd send me a message, she'd be like, you had a hectic weekend, calm down. I'm like, Mum, I'm in fucking New Zealand. How the fuck did you know that? Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Like remote viewing.
Yeah, she's just seeing it all. I'm like, oh. So good and bad having a real spiritual mum, hey, but it was, yeah, that's exactly what it was. And it was like, there was times where I would meditate, and without knowing, like, I would really open my third eye and I wouldn't close it. So then I would start getting all these energies coming in. I'd feel like heavy, tired, lethargic. It wasn't until I went to like a Reiki healing, or I found a spiritual healer when I was in New Zealand that I would regularly see and stuff. And like, she would help shift. She was like, wow, you're really receptive to like, and I was like, didn't understand about that whole world. And then the more I would read up about it, and the more I started, the first actual book that really sort of changed me was in New Zealand, was like The Power of Now.
Yeah.
And I read that, and that kind of just shifted that whole spiritual side. And I said, okay. And then from then things really started running and then going, and I went, okay. And then I started moving away from it. Like, I went through Europe and I partied, I had a great time, but I could probably, maybe I was drunk 20 times in 20, 30 times in 7 months.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Too bad, yeah.
So like, I was there for like the experience of like meeting people, looking at cultures. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'd have a glass or two of wine and stuff, but once I got there from that shift of New Zealand, I then really embodied this more, and then it got deeper and deeper through Canada and stuff like that. And then now come back to Perth, it's just blown up completely, because I've really found a shift of learning how to explore this side of things a lot more safely, and I'm more open to it. And from then it's like really escalated.
I think once you find that safety within your mind and within yourself, then you can reach out to spirit. But people who try to do spirit first, it can scare the shit out of them, because they're just not.
Man, it's crazy. And like the energies that you can start feeling, or maybe sometimes you hear stuff, or like it was crazy. And I kind of got a flash from spirit where, like, I was driving once and I got this flash that something was going to happen up ahead. So I just slowed down, and then the exact same thing I saw before happened. And I was like, okay. So I'm working, and this was like a while back, but I was like, okay, now I feel like I'm working well with spirit. Do you know what I'm saying? But it took me so long to find me, and for me to be safe to be able to work with spirit.
Yeah.
But instead of just going straight into spirit and then figuring out what the fuck's going on, you know what I mean? Like, all these things are happening, or like I'm getting so tired and drained, because energy work's very draining. You know, like, you could be feeling all this energy, all this heaviness all the time, and you're like, what's going on? Because you might not be closing your third eye. You might be doing a ceremony or be doing something. You might not be honoring it correctly, or you might not be closing your circle. Like, you've got to open and close your circles. You've got to open and close your third eye. You've got to be able to connect. When you connect, you've got to do it safely. And you've got to understand that, because you've got to understand that's a fucking powerful world up there. That is a very powerful world.
A very large world.
Yeah,
as well.
very large world.
What are some of the rules that you have in opening a circle and closing a circle, but also protecting your energy on a day-to-day basis from just carrying?
Beautiful question. I love that. Yeah, I big time. So in the mornings, I'll always meditate every morning, and I put a white light and gold circle around myself. I call them my archangels, my guides, to sit with me, to protect me. And then I say, like, within this, I might say some affirmations that I really like I have abundance of wealth, prosper, and happiness. You know, that might be one of my affirmations I'll say daily. But within it, I'm like, within this white light, within this gold circle, I'm safe, I'm protected. I'm protected from all negative energies and entities, stuff like that. So I'm just protected, I'm guided by my spirit. So I've now got my gold bubble around me, so that I don't take on a lot of other energies from other people that people might not know, you know what I mean? Like, they might not know that they're carrying a dark energy or entity with them. But if you don't keep safe and you're susceptible to energy, it can latch onto you quite quickly. So that's something I'll do definitely every day. And then when I open circles, so when I facilitate the cacao ceremonies and stuff like that, or meditations and that, I give acknowledgement to all the highs, to everything. Acknowledge your Aboriginal ancestors, you've got Aboriginal, the sages, your ancestors, your guides, your spirits. You've got to honour them so they know they've been honoured for what they are. I honour Earth, North, South, East, West. I honour that, but I will do all this before I start a ceremony, before I bring people in. So I'll create my space, and then I'll sit there and I'll go through. I've got my list of prayers, my blessings that I'll do myself. I'll call in all my guides, and I'll have my golden circle there protected, so I am protected. Then I'll protect this field and this circle that everyone's going to be coming into. So there's like 2 circles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then that first one's mine, and I'm here. I'm ready to hold space for everyone. I'm safe. I'm grounded. I'm connected. Then I've created space that everyone's going to come in. That's going to be a beautiful energy as they come in. And then once they're in there, I then do another blessing and prayer, and that's with saging. So then I sage it. So I'll sage it before with just me and everything, and then I bring everyone in and I do the same again. I don't remove energies from people. I don't remove negative stuff because I can't do that. I'm not that spiritual healer that's going to remove everything from you. I just shift it so it's not coming into my circle. I just don't allow anything just so you come in clear. So like, I'm not telling you, so you might come into my circle clear and have a great ceremony with me, and then you might go out and that, just say you've got an energy on you, that might come back on you, it might not, whatever. I'm not the person there to remove that from you. Yeah. And that's a very big thing that people just starting out don't really understand with that spirit world. People are like, oh yeah, I'm a Reiki healer, or I do this, I do that. And they try to remove entities from people. And unless they really know what they're working with and they've got the experience to remove that entity, that's dark stuff. That's very dark stuff. That's entering a whole other dimension of those dark areas, and they're heavy ones. And then you probably have to go like healed or thing to get that entity out of you or shifted from you. So I can do is when I open a ceremony is keep it clean and safe for people to enter, then remove it so then they're going to embrace with, say, the cacao with the clearest and most purest energy that they can have. And then so their intentions are coming from a pure intention. They're feeling the energy from a pure state, and they're going to imbibe it and enjoy it for what it is. And then they're going to sit through this meditation that's a clear meditation. When I do the shamanic drumming at the end, the sound bowls, that's all coming from a pure energy, a safe energy, and grounded. And then they can leave that circle like that. So that's sort of the way I do it. And then you close them. I'll close with like the blessings and prayers at the very end. Okay. And then that's just giving them thanks to like the higher gods, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Are you aware of somebody who has a negative energy attached to them? Like in your ceremonies, you're like, oh, there's something there, but I'm not going to get into it. Do you feel that? I can definitely feel energies with the people that are coming in, especially if I've tapped into my energy space. So once I get in there, I can feel like the ceremony you held the other day, I felt there was a lot of high energy coming. I was like, woof. I could feel it. So I was working a lot. I was mantraing, singing a lot to release this energy that I could feel it was coming on and was holding. It was very strong. Yeah. But then once people got in there, you'll notice some people will be guarded, some people might not be. That could be because they can't release that, or that's just who they are. They're not really open to that. But that's okay. That's them. That's their journey. That's where they're at in their journey. You know, they might be starting out here, and then a year's time, you might go in and they're like full, like, yo, I'm ready for all of this, and real opened up and ready to go. So you can't, you can notice it maybe by their body language and stuff like that, and you might be able to feel when you're shifting that energy. But I don't indulge too much into that because I'm already in my say. So when I'm there, I don't know, like sometimes I sing these things or say these things. I don't know what's going on. I'm just like channeling. Like I'm just in this area where I'm just so focused on being clear, being present with the cacao, with the meditation, or with my drumming, or what's happening. Like when I drum, if you ask me to drum to play the drum now, I'll be shit. But when I'm channeling, I don't know what's going on. I just play. You just like drop into that
zone.
Yeah,
I'm just in that zone, and that's sort of where I stay at. And I feel like if I was to pick up on too much of other people's energies, then it would take me out of where I'm meant to be. Within those areas, you know what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
So I'll just release that thing, and if they're still real tense and they're like, you'll definitely notice it in like the meditations. Like if they've gone through this cacao, that you've dropped everyone in, you've saged people, they've cleansed them, and then they're getting down to get comfortable in this meditation. This person's like super stiff, moving, not happy, not calming down at all. You're like, okay, they're just not. That's cool. Whether that's like a dark energy or entity of them, or whether they're just in their mind too much, can't relax. That's okay. That's just where they're at. But you can definitely notice that. Yeah. That physical aspect for sure. Wow. Yeah. And then you can just notice some people just go so into it, and you'll see their body moving in a good way, not in like a tense way. Like they're just letting all the emotions flow through and stuff. Like it's quite beautiful to be able to hold and experience. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
It's like ecstatic dancing kind of.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. Those things, man. You can shift so much energy, like so much. We store so much energy. Like yoga is so basic and simple. Like I used to just do yoga thinking it was just like movements and stuff like that. And I could connect to my breath a little bit. But the more I've learned about the philosophy behind it and the way the yogi life works, the more you connect deeply. It's like yoga was practiced to be able to sit for meditation for a long period of time. That was the goal of yoga. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, so like there's the 8 limbs of yoga. And then like in like the Eastern world, you can't even do your yoga practice, which is the 3rd limb, until you practice limbs 1 and 2, which is like the universal code of conduct for like the universe, and then the self code of conduct. So it's like, are you being giving and loving to others? Like, how do you live your life to everyone else? And then how do you live your life to yourself? And then you practice your asana, which is like your yoga practice. Then it's like your breath. Then it's like sense withdrawal, which pretty harder, sense withdrawal, concentration, meditation, and then self-enlightenment. So they're like your 8 limbs. So like they used to practice yoga and all the body movements so then they could just sit for hours and hours to meditate, to try to find self-enlightenment. So like the more you connect and realize that, the more I've found yoga's been so strong to shift energy, to connect with yourself, to connect within. Because you sit there and it's like, okay, at the beginning of the yoga class, you might sit there for 10 minutes just connecting with your breath. People might be like, fuck, this is boring, I'm connecting with breath. Nah, if you're sitting there concentrating, connecting with breath, now I'm present, I'm within my body, I'm here. Now, as we move through the next, say, 40 minutes or 45 minutes of flowing and moving, you're super embodied. You're shifting the energy, you're releasing any energy that needs to go, releasing any toxins, whatever it is, and you're present. And your body will reciprocate that, you know what I mean? Like you really embody that, feel that. And then at the end of class, when you go down to Shavasana, which is like corpse pose, you just lay there and let it all go. Like what's coming out of that? You might have energy releasing, you might have thoughts come up, you might just be completely relaxed and present. You might just be calm. Like so many people love that. They're like, oh man, that pose at the end where you just get asleep in yoga, yeah, that's the best. I love that pose. And it's just like, but that's it. That's you calming down. That's you they've done all this work. They've done the breath, they've done movement to calm you and bring you back into your body. That's like your end goal. And then eventually self-enlightenment one day if you can get there.
Arabic practice, right? Yeah. Same as like the Asians that had, or like more of the Eastern that had like Qigong and certain other practices that they did.
Yeah, and they incorporated like Zazen. I'm teaching Zazen meditation tomorrow morning.
Wow,
so like,
like Taoist kind of philosophy.
So they based the Zazen meditation, which went into China and Japan, off the Yogic philosophy, and that's where they got that style of meditation from. Yeah, Zazen is really cool. Yeah, so I was like, it's a beautiful practice of meditation. It's just about trying to be really present within your body, which then reciprocates for you being everywhere else. So like, it's like if you can withdraw all your senses, withdraw everything, and just be present. So like your thoughts will come up. That's okay. You know, you see them, you witness them, but can you be back present? Yeah. Like a real good way is like I'll find if you want to drop into a state of meditation quite deeply, is just to focus on your breath coming in and out of your nose. So you close your mouth, you're breathing in and out of your nose, and you're focusing on the air that's hitting your lip. And you just focus on that. And that's where you're present at. And then your mind will start to slow down. And if you've done that for a while, you start to drop into a deeper state. Now, if things start to come in and out, you might witness that are coming in, or your thoughts that are coming in, or whatever's coming in, you can witness it. Okay, that's cool. Put that aside. I'm present right now. I'm here. And you can witness it, and then once you sort of learn, that's like that whole theory of Zazen. So you sit up nice and straight, you got a straight back. People used to practice it facing a wall, so you're not distracted from anything. Sitting up straight, you're facing a wall, your hands are like palms are up, so the backs of your hands are on your knees, palms are facing up, so you're nice and open. And then you're just breathing in and out, eyes closed down, and then you're just focusing. You can focus on that breath for a long time, which just helps you drop in.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. That was my first meditation that I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my first ever meditation. Yeah. When I got into meditation, it was like in and out from the nose. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if they called it pranayama.
Yeah, so your pranayama is like that. Pranayama is your breath control. Okay. So that pranayama is your breath control in general. Yeah. So that like yogi life is just your breath control. So so with yogi, the most common way they breathe is ujjayi breathing. So it's like restriction of your throat, and that's in and out through your nose. Wow. So you restrict your throat. So they say like with every movement, when you inhale, exhale, you should be doing it with a restricted throat and in and out through your nose. Wow, yeah. And man, when you do an hour of yoga, when you're just breathing with a restricted throat in and out through your nose, it is hard. It is hard. Yeah, but that's what they believed from. That's where it came from. And so pranayama is like that breath control. And then I find to be able to get into a deeper state, it really does help if you want to sit in silence, that is, because there's so many different styles of meditation. Like I teach so many different styles. There's like mantra styles, visualization, there's progressive relaxation. There's so many different styles that will work for different people. But if you want to try sit in silence, which is sort of like the real present moment, that is like working through Zazen and whatnot, it really helps to just focus on that breath. Because as soon as you lose your mind and it drifts, bring it back to that breath, slow it all the way back down, and then you might notice a few things and get rid of it. It goes and you're just there, and you're just super present.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do it, yeah.
That helped me a lot with OCD. OCD or people with ADD, ADHD. Like it helps them a lot. That helped me a lot when I was going through my own mind stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's quite powerful, isn't it? Yeah. People really underestimate how powerful meditation is. Yeah. Just doing it on a day-to-day basis is definitely something I think everyone should do. Yeah. Definitely.
Get away from the psychedelics. You don't need psychedelics.
Yeah. Oh man, I've just dabbled in my first part of mushrooms. Okay. Mushrooms not long ago.
Yeah.
Man. Coolest thing ever.
It's your first time ever.
So I've done, I'd done it probably like, it would have been 2 months ago maybe. I've done it twice now. Yeah, I loved it.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah. But I just sat there and meditated when I'd done it. So all I did was like have the magic mushrooms and just sat there and meditated. And I was like, man, this is I saw all my guides, my spirits, and I was like, man, this is sick.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I was in a very safe space doing it with a close friend of mine.
Yeah.
Who's done it a lot. So I was quite nervous to do it, psychedelics. I've never done it. And I was like quite nervous, and he was like, it's okay thing. Like, and then I got there and I was always nervous of like the darkness of it. Because everyone told me like the dark, and I was like, okay. And I actually, I started seeing dark come in, and then I kind of just turned it. Instead of fighting it, I just kind of like smiled and was like, okay, my guides are here, I'm safe. And I just looked into where the darkness was coming, smiled and bone, and just burst into all these beautiful colors. Wow. And I was just like, oh, and I was like, okay. And then after that, it was like the best trip ever. I was like playing the drums, the sound bowls, and I was just like super people were in like, they looked at me like, what the hell is this cunt doing? I'm just off with the fairies, I'm like, this is so good. Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's interesting. I think we did something like in the weekend, and I think that for me it was like we went outside and we were looking at the stars, and so you could felt like you could see like the depth in the stars. Like you could see which one's closer, which one's further, which one's brighter, which one's like less bright, and you could just see the distance, and like it looked like full like 3D. And it's like coming closer towards your face, and like when you look, because it was like midnight at Duns. No, it wasn't midnight. It was like 10 p.m. at like Dunsborough, so it was really, really dark. So you could see every little thing, and like even you could see the Milky Way, and it was just like, wow, this is like, it was definitely the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen.
That's so beautiful.
I think
it was amazing.
Ups your appreciation for everything. On mushroom, so.
Yeah, you just feel Mother Earth. And the earth, the universe, everything's breathing, connected. You just feel like that whole life force is there.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of, I guess, what I sort of found. Like I'd look at the trees, the thing, you could see them breathing, you could connect with them. I was like, we'd just sit there and just stare and like, oh, it's just so beautiful. You feel the energy. So like, I thought coming from that sense, I was like, wow, it's very beautiful. Like I don't know how I'd go if I'd ever would do it. Because you know people do it and they take it in like a party form or something like that.
Oh
like,
yeah, man,
that would like, imagine feeling everyone's energies and the intensity of stuff.
I reckon that's people freak out and end up in the emergency because they're like...
That's what I'd do. There's so much energy, the people around.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man.
Like things like mixing the combinations of like mushrooms and like
alcohol, shrooms, and cocaine. Imagine that.
Yeah. See ya. Oh, mate.
Not healthy.
No, that gets me anxious just thinking about it.
Greylands.
Yeah, check myself in. I'm checking myself in now before I even do it. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Man, that'd be insane, man.
I had some DMT like a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. So
how'd you find it?
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It was like the powder was in like very finely powdered form, and there was like a crack pipe that I was like I was firing it from. One of those metal crack pipes.
Yeah.
The DMT was in there, and I was on a podcast, my friend's podcast, Jack's podcast.
Oh, true.
And this guy's he's got a history of like trying out different stuff and experimenting with different like psychedelics, and he's got
Well, you did it together in the podcast.
So in the podcast, it was like, would you ever think about doing DMT? I'm like, yeah.
He's like, got some right here.
He's like,
Full setup.
I'm like,
Well. Look what we have here.
so I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you have some now? He's like, yeah, you want to do it now? I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. He's like, wow, okay, well, this is a first. During the podcast.
No.
Oh, bro, that'd be insane. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, it's gonna be. I'm like, I felt really ready. I was like, I'm ready for this because it's come up so many times.
Yeah.
I've looked at it. I'm like, okay, it's like someone said it. I've like really, like it's been like years since I've done it.
Yeah.
The first 2 times I didn't really have like a breakthrough. It was more like very light on a joint or light on a cone or something like that, and I haven't been able to see a lot. And I wanted a breakthrough. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see what this is about.
Yeah.
And if it's gonna confirm a lot of things that I've like epiphanies and downloads that I've had throughout my life. And as soon as I had it, it was like, whoa, like it was insane.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 5-ME DMT.
DMT,
It wasn't that
the
one.
toad?
It wasn't the toad, it was the other version. So it wasn't as strong, but like, how you see like Alex Gray's pictures and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's what I was seeing. And like, I was seeing like the fractal universe. It was insane.
Oh, yeah, I saw the same thing,
like,
actually, yeah.
God.
I saw a snake as soon as I closed my eyes. I drifted like I felt like I drifted in my body.
Yeah.
Like I contracted in my body, but I was aware that there was a body here, but I didn't know who I was, and I was just like aware, just pure awareness more than anything else. Wow. There was no story of who I was or the identity of who I was or the belief systems that were surrounding it or anything else. Like not even memories, experiences. It was just all gone. And I was just pure awareness. I was just there. I was like, well, this is freaking freaky. But I've had that experience when I've meditated like 10 years ago. I had that same experience without using DMT. So it
A self-enlightenment.
Yeah.
That's a form of self-enlightenment. Yeah, wow.
confirmed to me that I was like, well, like you already know this, so there's nothing that you need from this right now.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man.
yeah.
It was insane. I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't get anything new, but there's already things that I already knew that I had experiences from when I was sober.
That's what you needed. You needed to go like for that to say like that was your lesson. Like that's it, man. You've got this. You're on your own. Like you don't need what all this other stuff is to get you there. You're there. Just keep pursuing it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It's like it's crap. I think I had like 5 or 6 hits that night.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "You want some more?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
So was the lesson like early on or lesson later on?
The lesson came like straight away. I was like, everything's interconnected. There's nothing to fear. There's the illusion of separation. You're one with the whole.
But I was just enjoying that experience.
Yeah. It was like direct experiencing that.
When
I saw a snake.
You changed his
like,
batteries.
true.
So your battery went out.
Okay. Yeah.
Just hold that thought, Sarush.
Yeah. It was really interesting, man. It was a good night.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Like I'd switched up from that moment. I was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? But I felt like a Sims character.
Oh yeah, true.
Like a character in a movie that I was a player and the one playing at the same time.
Oh,
wow. So it was like, it was hard to explain.
Wow, that's deep. That's sick.
I was like, whoa, I'm in this body. That's how I was feeling. I was like, fuck, I'm here, man. This is crazy. Like, what is this shit, I was like walking
super
around.
present.
Super present, like just so here. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is insane. And I was getting him, like the residue from the DMT was affecting him as well. Like when I was talking, he was like, fuck, I feel like I'm having a trip as well.
Yeah.
From seeing you go through this, is like, I feel really present right now just being around you.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah. I was like, man, I just feel really present right now. So then I started doing breath work and meditation while I was tripping out. Well, not tripping out, but like...
There. Wow.
Yeah. I just felt more tuned.
I got you.
Wow, I just went full retard.
That's alright, bro. Put it in the bloopers. It's alright, it's on DMT.
Nah, it's this crystal. It's been shining this whole time. Like, this one's insane. There's like so many colours to it. Yeah. It's crazy colours.
Do you know much about crystals, Jordan?
I'm not as much as I would like to know. I still am learning a lot. I work with crystals quite a bit. I do have a crystal Bible though to go through and stuff because there's so many out there and trying to know which one works for what energy and stuff. So I do read through that.
Well, when you work with your crystals, what do you initially use them for? Because I actually have no idea. I just put them for decoration.
Oh yeah, nah. It all depends. So I have crystals that I'll set up for my ceremonies that will help protect the circle, cleanse the circle, keep the circle clear and pure.
No.
And then I'll have some that will be really nice and grounding ones. So these will just help me be grounded, help people around me get grounded. And then there's other ones that I'll use for my meditations. Like if I'm really trying to tap into my heart and stuff, I'll lay down, put it on my heart. And maybe I'll hold like a clearing crystal or a grounding crystal in my hand as well. And then connect with it that way. Maybe put on your third eye if I want to go a bit more deeper and higher and stuff like that. So depending
do you feel that difference when you place it on your body?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And what do you use for your heart?
I've got this, I forget the name of it for you. It's super expensive. It was like this, it's this male heart one. It's like such I think it starts with M, and I've got it from this crystal store, and I just know which one it is, and it's like I'll go grab that when I know I need to get in deeper to my heart.
What color is it?
It's like a black, greeny, bluey with these specks through it.
Wow.
It's the name slipped me now.
Black, greeny.
Yeah, it's like it's a super. Yeah, it's for males. Like it's a male heart type of one, and it's really strong and powerful. But
that starts with M.
Yeah, I think it's.
Is it melchite or?
I think it might be melanchite or something like that. Yeah,
okay.
possibly. Don't.
I'll do a Google
Yeah,
search,
I'll have a look. I'll let you know. I'll send you a message.
And the third eye one?
Depends. Smoky quartz is nice because it withdraws a lot as well. Like it helps you pull a lot out. Otherwise, like clear quartz is quite good. I like just being super clear on this because that's just withdrawing energy out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just allowing me to have a clear path to move through. Whereas like if you start putting other ones there, they've got to be a reason sort of for it to be going there. So like if I want to be grounding more, do these different sort of stuff, you pick up that crystal and put it there for that reason. But if I just want to hit and be a bit more clearer, there's actually, what's this? See, now I've got like my set crystals that I know which one to go for what reason. There's one that's like black and white polka dot, and it's like, it helps you have a real clear mind. Oh, wow. And whenever I have that in my left hand when I meditate, I find I'm super switched on.
Wow.
So if I just meditate that in my hand, I'm just like, I'm there, like moon, something to do with the moon or something. But it's super like, yo, I'm here and I'm real present. Like it helps me keep my thoughts within that one thought, which is really
amazing,
cool.
Bro. I'm gonna get the name of that as well.
Yeah. I'll send you the name of them. Yeah, definitely. They're just at home. I know which ones they are.
What was the mantra you used to connect with your guides and how?
So when I would just sort of say, I work with Archangel Michael a lot.
Yeah.
So then I would connect, I'd just say like Archangel Michael in front of me, behind me, to the side of me, to the other side of me, above me, below me. Protect me in the cloak and shield me from all negative energies and entities. Help me have a clear mind and stay focused and present on one thing at a time. And that was sort of like one thing I would always repeat. And then I would just speak to my other like ancestors, guides, stuff, because it's hard when you're working with them. Like I've got one elder that when I go deep enough, I can see. He's just there, or sometimes he's here. And I'll be meditating and I'll be thinking, I can see his presence and he's come up and his face is there. I'm like, okay, don't know who he is yet, but he's always there. So he's there. I know he's guiding with me. So when I say like my elders, when you call in, they're listening. Just because you don't feel them there and then, it doesn't mean they're not there. They're not listening. Yeah. It just might take time. So he's there, and I see him. And when I went on that shroom, my very first shroom trip, man, he was like right there. I was like, "Yo, what's up?" Like he was
full conversation with him.
He was like, but he was like, he would always just smile, and he's just smiling. He's just there, and I don't know what that connection is yet. I know there's something there, but I don't know what it is yet. I just it hasn't come across yet. It hasn't come up yet. But there's like others, like there's a priest that's always there. So I've always worked with a priest. I always speak to him. And then Archangel Michael was like my real big one. And then just calling out to the other ancestors, sages, Mama Cacao, all these other people that I'll just call in Mother Earth, Gaia and stuff. Just call them in, just acknowledge them. And then you'll just really, I find I really notice when they're there. I can feel their presence definitely like behind them and stuff when I'm getting deep on meditation. Wow. For sure. Wow. Yeah. And I can see, when I go deep enough into meditation, I can see them and be connected with them. And then when I took shrooms, I just saw them all there and then. I was like, wow, like they're all here. I could literally see like turn them face to face. So like all there, like I saw my grandparents come in that had passed away when I was on shrooms. Like my yaya, she was like I got her tattooed on my heart. She's like the closest thing to me, and she was there, and I could see him, and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then sometimes like today when I had that session I was talking about this morning, Went in there and I was like working through this EMDR with like your eyes and whatnot to release some traumas. And I caught in Archangel Michael. Man, I could see him and my eyes were closed, we're doing this thing, I could see him. He was hugging me from behind and I was breathing in this white healing light, gold light. He was breathing it in with me. And then the person that I was doing this, like my session with, she goes, Raphael. She like just starts saying Angel Raphael. Oh, no. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, and I'm sitting there and I look and man, I can see him. And he was right there and he's like grabbed his hand and put his hand on my heart and I could feel it. So I put my hand on it and could feel his energy. So I was like, okay, now I'm connecting with both and that's what I work with. So like that came in within that session and that's what I went real deep and you could feel it. And it was like, I've never like worked on healing myself like that depth as I did this morning with that session. And I could just feel the energy. Like I could see him with my eyes closed. I could see his presence was there. I just feel his energy was there, like with his hand. I was like, man, like the energy moving through my heart and through him right there and then, like you could feel your heart, like hands burning. Like the it was like, got to a point where it was like tingling, like sharp pains, like shifting this energy through. Is what I need.
Right?
Yeah. Pardon?
He's the healer magician.
Yeah. And it was so powerful. And I've never worked with him before. But that was the first time he's come up. And it was this morning. But like, as soon as she said, she's like, I got this, like I'm getting told this. And I just literally looked, my eyes closed. Like, and then he was right there. I was like, oh, hello.
Wow.
And then he just like put his hand, it was like, it was all one. But I could feel, because before she said Archangel Michael, because I work with him, I called him in and I felt him around me and breathing with me, like breathing this as I was working through, releasing stuff from my heart. He was breathing in this light and releasing it down below. And she goes, call in Archangel Michael, have him come behind you, hold you and breathe with you. And I was like, he's already doing this. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like she's saying, and I was like, he's here, I've got him. Like this is where we're at. And then she said Raphael and he came in. I was like, wow.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
How crystal is your spiritual vision in clairvoyance? Do you sort of see the outline of the aura or do you actually see like the way you're seeing me now?
It depends, yeah. Definitely depends on what state I'm in, where I'm at. Sometimes I'll just see sort of like an outline and I'll know they're up here behind me. But today, man, I saw his whole face, I saw his whole thing, and I knew Archangel, I could feel all of Archangel Michael over me and with me, and his head was there breathing with me. Like I could physically see that with my eyes closed.
Wow.
But then there's like times where like, I can't see anything, I don't even see an outline, but I just know they're there. I just know they're there. And that elder sometimes, like there's been times I've just meditated, I'm here, I'm present, and then I'm like, I've called all my guides in, but then that elder's just come up and he's just there. And I can see his face. Don't know, he won't say anything. Don't know where that connection is yet, but he's just there. And I can just see that face and then I'll come back and then I go back to look at it and the face is gone. I'm like, okay, see you later.
You get ringing in your ears as well?
Oh bro, ringing in my left ear is, man, there's times where like, when I first started, when I wasn't ready for it, the spiritual healers that I go to would tell me, you got to ask them, you have to say to switch off. Because man, I would kid you not, the ringing in my ear was like my eardrums about to burst.
Oh wow.
And I'd be like there and I'd be like, okay, I acknowledge you're here, I acknowledge your presence, I'm sorry I can't help you right now. Like you have to tell the spirits, like there's someone, they're trying to talk to you. And like they're trying to, if your third eye is not open to be able to receive it and accept it and ready for it, that's the way you'll hear it in your ear. And man, these pains, I would like be screeching like, fuck my ear. I was like, oh, and I didn't know what it was until my healer told me.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then I was just like, why do I keep getting these pains? She goes, oh, that's spirit trying to talk to you.
All right.
And I was like, man, they were painful. I was like, but then I'd say, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you, this and that, and gone.
Does the right and left mean different things? If your right is
left side's more feminine.
Okay, yeah.
So you're more receptive to receiving and open and stuff like that. So like that's why like the other day when we were doing like the cards, I said like pick your card your left hand and stuff. Sometimes you pick it your right hand, it depends what you feel, but usually pick your card your left hand, you're more open to receiving things, more feminine side of stuff. I receive a lot with my left side, usually my left ear. Every now and then I get one with my right ear, otherwise I'll tap, it's always your left. And most of the time I'll see my guides and stuff over on this side or directly behind me. And then I might see, like when I was tripping on the shrooms, when I saw my grandma, like she was on the right side, she was chilling there. Wow. Like Raphael came in on the right today to help me heal. Usually like I'll see my guides, my protectors on the left or right, like above me that way.
Interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
So if you hear ringing on your right side, it doesn't mean anything?
Well, it could still mean something. Yeah, I think it's still
yeah.
spirit trying to talk, but it's usually always on my left side. I just
Okay,
don't.
yeah.
I just personally don't really get it much on my right. But your left side's your feminine side's it's more open and receptive.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. How was your first experience with all this? Like, did it freak you out a little bit?
Yeah, it was freaking me out a little bit. It was just because Mum sort of went through it a lot years before me. She was sort of just like, I guess I could kind of learn from her experience. Whereas like she's like, instead of being afraid of it, sort of work with it. So when I was ready, because obviously I was afraid for it, so I push it aside. But when I sort of became ready for it, I was like, okay, I'm going to work with it. And that's like the same thing with like that darkness on that trip.
Yeah.
Don't fight it. Don't be against it. That's what they want. They want you to be sucked into what's going on. I think. So you don't. I just wasn't fighting. I was like, okay, it's okay. And then, man, you're always going to have things go wrong. You're always, something might not be as good. I might have thought I could have shifted some energy through it myself or whatever, and then it's not. And then you go to the healer and she's like, what have you been doing? And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, sorry. Sorry, I was trying to shift this and that. So it's just learning. You're always learning. You're always growing. Like you sort of play a little bit. You just got to be careful not to do anything that's going to either affect others or really affect yourself in that realm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I was kind of, when I was ready to accept it and move towards that journey in life a lot more, I was prepared for it because of my mum.
Yeah.
Which definitely helped for sure. Otherwise, I would have been like freaking out. When you like, especially when you see things like, man, you get vision, and you just like this, chatting like this, and then all of a sudden something will come over you lose all sense of everything, and you just get this vision. You're like, okay, and then like an hour later it happens, and you're like, fuck, that's intense. That's intense. Yeah, and that was like the kangaroo. We were driving in the outback, like on a swing, and I was just like driving. I had this vision, like the sun was coming up, you could barely see, and it was like bad time to be driving. 2 massive kangaroos and us like slamming the brakes on, swerving out of the way. And I was like, dude, the driver was like, man, just slow down, you know, like sun's coming up, blah blah blah, like slow down, like we're going like 110 now, like let's just. He's like, yeah, no, you're right. It's like not a safe time to be driving. Bro, within not even 5 minutes, 2 kangaroos right there, because we're going slow. He slowed down, they went across, and I was like, there you go.
Damn, wow.
There you go.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I was like, but straight away I was just shut my eyes, like, thank you, spirit. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. Yeah, it was, I didn't say it to
like
him, but I was just,
premonition that you had.
Yeah, exactly. And I couldn't, it just happened. Like, I didn't control it, didn't ask for it, it just happened.
It happens.
And then I said it to him, and he was like, oh man, like you said, we slow down. I was like, yeah. Well, you don't know half of it.
Like That's a Raven.
Oh, that's a good show, growing up as a kid, eh?
Yeah, I wrote that show.
I thought that completely into just then.
What show was that?
That's a Raven?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When she had,
I was actually listening to that guy. He was that guy that went like had crack and shit.
Oh yeah. Was it? I just know his name is Eddie. Like from That's a Raven. I don't remember.
That was another guy from the Disney Channel.
He was like the black dude.
Yeah.
I
forgot his name though.
Yeah, I forgot his name. He went through some shit.
He went through some stuff.
He went through some shit. Yeah. He was like hooked on meth and everything. Yeah, dude.
I gotta watch the show again, just to get the.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Far out, that's gnarly.
It's the Disney Channel on Saturdays.
Yeah. So,
Have you done ayahuasca?
I've never done ayahuasca. Yeah. DMT, mushrooms, like more mushrooms. And then like I've had coke a few times and like MDMA. You know, that party.
Yeah, party scene
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
And then it was like weed, a lot of different, a lot of weed. But yeah, that was mainly it. There was nothing else apart from that.
Yeah.
I got massive calling DMT and ayahuasca.
Right.
Yeah, it's been like
cool.
it's been coming like sort of, I reckon, over the last maybe 12 months, sort of been calling towards me, and then more so the last few months, like heavily, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I know when the time's right, it's going to come, and I'll feel right, but I'm just like, it's definitely, it's definitely something.
So you haven't done it before?
Nah, not DMT or ayahuasca. It's something I feel, I think I'm ready for now. Whereas like I've always knew about it. I was like, man, that should be hectic. No way. Like, but now I think more doing shrooms has opened me up to say it's a bit more safe to go to fucking project and go see her. You know what I mean?
The group does ayahuasca here in Perth.
Yeah.
They order it in from Peru. South somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that adds. I've just been real nervous.
South America.
Yeah.
I just, because I don't,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing or wrong thing. I don't know, like what's to do with the shaman? Like where does that come from? What's that shaman learnt from? Or like where's this plant being grown from and stuff? You know what I mean? So I kind of, I've learned a lot of that with the cacao.
Yeah.
So I know the ceremonial cacao that like, I take people through. I know where it comes from, hands-on source directly to here. I know that where it stems from, and the medicine we're going to be imbibing in then is the true medicine. We're honouring it in the truest form.
Yeah.
I've learnt from someone that she was helping shamans facilitate ayahuasca for 2 years, and then she found cacao, and then learnt of shamans in South America about that, and then I learnt off her about cacao.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I've learnt that side of things. So I'm a bit scared to go into plant medicine of like ayahuasca, that heaviness, without knowing exactly where it's sort of come from, the shaman it's come from, if it's coming on those right ways, because
do you know
what I mean? So I think that's sort of what's holding
It's
back.
really powerful as well.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be in a safe space.
Definitely, man. You
It's
want to
like,
know. You want
it's
to
like
know.
learning martial arts from from a true master with like proper lineage and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go from here until you learn this, like this is, and then this is the steps. It's not like we can go here and this will just kind of just fall into place. Like you've got to work your way there. And it's like, what if something goes wrong that they've never experienced before?
Yeah.
A shaman's been doing it for so long, know these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just, and when you're in that vulnerable state, you want to make sure that they've fucking got your back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, man, shit could turn south pretty quick.
Another Greylands.
Yeah. Fuck, bro, no.
Hamad's done it, right? He's
Hamad's trained,
trained.
He's I was speaking to him about it a lot. That's sort of why I've come from all this.
I did a ceremony with him, just a mushroom ceremony.
Yeah.
But he was doing it basically as an ayahuasca ceremony, calling in the spirit of ayahuasca and having all that. He's really, really good. I felt really protected and safe in that space.
Yeah.
And that really gave me some incredible experiences. At one point I was talking to my dad through my mind, but he's alive. And then
It was like a full conversation?
a full conversation about just a light conversation, just about my life and my journey. And then all of a sudden I could just see this Buddha statue again, which I've seen in my last DMT trip. Just in front of me, just nice and clean gold, and then gold and purple light just spinning around and around and around me. And I was like in this temple, and this light was just going around, and I could hear like the woo, 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 woo of, and that wasn't actually the crystal bowl, because I opened my eyes and the mud wasn't there. I thought it was a crystal bowl. I was just hearing that sound, closing my eyes, going back into it, and it was showing me how the universe was built on vibration. And this vibration that you're hearing is the sound of the song of the universe. And in a split second, I could understand how the universe is held together. And when I tried to like remember it and articulate, I just lost the whole thing.
Yeah, it's real. I don't know if
you just said it just then quite well.
Yeah, if they stem with like that yogi style, they say if you look for self-enlightenment and you get a glimpse of it, your ego then comes in and goes, I want that again. So then it's like, well, now you got to start all over again to get there.
That's
exactly
what happened to me.
That's
what happened to me.
Yeah, it's
I experienced it, and then I was like, I want to experience it again. I was chasing for it. You know, whether it's like, then I realized, I'm like, it's already here.
Yeah.
You don't have to like chase it, because you just have to recognize that it's already here.
I wanted to write it down, like like the formula or like wherever.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How quickly, I don't know, ego jumps onto you and kind of might bring you back, and it's like, whoa, it's like, no, I want to keep chasing that beautiful place I was at. And it's like, okay, well, that's like maybe, I don't know, that's maybe like.
It also schools you as well, like a lot of times where it relatively points out all of my egotistical ways or problems or things or hypocrisies that I carry on in my life. And one of them was that I always talk about abundance and being enough and doing all this stuff and giving and all this crap, and I was like, you haven't been giving. You know what I mean? Like I'm preaching it, but I'm not doing it. So like it made me like literally implement things in the following weeks. As well.
Oh, beautiful.
It was very profound.
Oh, that's awesome. That's such a beautiful experience.
But I'd love to do ayahuasca, but I am actually quite afraid of like going to South America, doing it, and then I'm in a 5-hour trip where you're sort of vomiting or purging, and then you're fully vulnerable to the shaman or the group or whatever happens. You know, that's sort of my fear of handing that power over to somebody else when you're in that vulnerable state.
And all the way over there.
And that spirit.
Well, how long is the trip? Is it like 5 hours? A little bit.
I think it's like 4 to 5 hours. I think
ayahuasca
is like 4 to 5 hours. I think from what I was told by like Hamad, who's telling me a lot about it, because I wanted to know some more about it. It can kind of go, you do 3 or 4 trips over 7 or 8 days. It could be like one ceremony, or you can go there for longer and stuff. But he said, I think that's pretty common. So like you have like a day rest in between, and then you trip again and stuff like that. It goes like 4 or 5 hours, and then you sleep, and then wake up the next morning and reflect on what might have come up or gone through and that.
Yeah.
Wow. I just had Will Smith come up in my head.
Yes.
Because apparently he did ayahuasca, like recently as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then
Brought up his shadow.
it brought up a lot of shit within him where I think he was confronting.
Well, he done the silent retreat as well.
He did silent retreat.
He done this. He done like, he done a 14-day silent retreat. He reckons like day 11, he's like, fuck this. And then
Wow.
he get out of there. Like this is his first ever sort of way.
Wow.
And then like day 12 or 13, he kind of flipped and changed. And then he's like, I want to do that again.
Wow.
And then like it went from there. Yeah.
Could you imagine being in the Hollywood scene, the energy that you would carry? All the stories you hear about Hollywood, like Mel Gibson and Harvey Weinstein and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They must have a lot of toxic energy, like entities or even things like when they're acting and method acting, what's coming through acting like with them, you know, what energies are they bringing onto themselves?
Just
like,
being there, that set, that area.
yeah, like Heath Ledger, for example,
Yeah.
you know, doing the Joker, getting into that state, he was method acting the whole time.
Yeah.
Not breaking character for months and months and months of this mad lunatic. I'm sure there would be spiritual intervention and things that you would call onto yourself.
Well, definitely when he's locking himself away in his room for so long to turn
I think he's
crazy.
essentially channeling dark spirits to help him possess that character.
Yeah, definitely.
I honestly think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
But Will Smith may have been on a silent retreat and then come to realize there is entities around him or energies or things he hasn't integrated. Because his career would have just been taking him on a roller coaster
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Things I
Oh,
would
yeah.
have seen, like I'm imagining, would have been insane
Yeah.
and exposed to.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
100%.
And his whole family as well. I think his family seems like a very interesting family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of substance behind him.
Yeah. Very like smart. I'm gonna say switched on, give or take some instances.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very switched on, give or take some instances. But I don't know. I would like to see where he's going to be in the next like 5 to 10 years.
Definitely.
Given that he's like, if he's done ayahuasca and he's going through like this whole like journey.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's like reflecting on some of the things that he did and it like seeing where he's going to be at.
Well, that really made me question why he acted the way he did. Because when I listened to like his audiobook of what he'd done like the silent retreats, he'd done all this work, and he's done ayahuasca, he's done this stuff, and he's found himself in this new place, and he's sort of, I don't know, built this new life for himself.
Yeah.
And then to act like that, you go, wow, where's that come from?
It could be like a dark night of the soul that he's going through,
Yeah.
natural process. Or he could realize that spirituality is a massive trend right now, and I want to get on that trend, like the fitness trend that was happening. But I'm just being very cynical, like that is possible, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because when that gym started to go like really big, like the Ziz era,
Oh,
and that sort of
yeah,
stuff, like
yeah.
everyone was getting a gym, everyone had a protein powder, everyone was an influencer.
Yeah.
And now spirituality is like that next big thing. I know a lot of people who have jumped on that bandwagon who aren't really living what they're teaching.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, isn't it?
And if you're an actor, I mean,
Yeah.
you can pull it off better than anyone else I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the experiences, at least like the experiences that you have when you're doing psychedelics are like experiences that no matter how much you try and like shut it off, the experiences that will still linger within you. you know?
Yeah.
True, and he could be a beginner in this whole thing, so cut him some slack is human. Like
Yeah.
me, cut him some slack because I was the one judging him. But I suppose seeing him in Hollywood, you expect him to be the pinnacle of Sadhguru or something.
Yeah, and then he's got to hold that, doesn't he? Because he's always in front of everyone. Like maybe he just did have a lapse. Maybe he just something triggered him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going through. Man, you know what it's like. Shifts might come up, things might come up, and you're like, well, why did I act like that, or why did this come up? Maybe it was a lapse in concentration. If he's moving more genuinely on this spiritual path, you definitely notice like. You don't want to be around, you don't go to ceremonies where someone's just doing it because it's a trend. You want to be going to a ceremony because they're preaching, they do what they preach, they do it every day. It's the lifestyle they live.
Yeah.
And you know it's coming authentically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%.
When I was watching a video, it was like a couple of days ago, I was watching a video with Will Smith and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And this was before Will Smith was trying to get into, like he was ticking off things from his bucket list, like jumping out of a plane, doing a comedy show. So he was doing a comedy show, and Dave Chappelle was there to help him out.
Yeah.
And he said something. It was like, I'm afraid of what, I'm afraid that what people think about me. So he had that in like throughout his whole life, where he was afraid of like getting judged by other people or criticized by other people, and always cared about what other people thought about him. Yeah. And I felt like that was one of his like things that he needed to get over. You know, what other people, how he viewed, like how people viewed him in Hollywood and the industry, and and like his family and stuff as well. So
Yeah.
I resonated that
Yeah,
massively,
isn't it?
like,
Yeah.
because I was like bullied massively through all my teenage years, and I was always scared what people thought of me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just here in Perth.
Wow.
So imagine the pressures that he's getting
Yeah.
living that lifestyle in front of
Yeah.
everyone. Bro,
At such a
you're
young
sensible
age
to the
as
whole
well.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
insane.
everyone's got their eyes on you. And I had gone through so much struggle now from bullying, from thing, blah, 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 that traumas that I'm still working through. And that's just one small little thing, bro. That's not even a quarter of the community of Perth
Yeah.
that's come from. Imagine when you get your whole eyes on you. It's a whole other level then,
It's a
really,
whole
isn't
other
it?
level.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
He could still be in his ayahuasca trip, you know, like that could be the biggest test for him. Is like, okay, now the world kind of hates you a little bit. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Well,
massive lesson.
I think we just kind of. I still reckon it was like a
some people love it,
ploy just to get more followers and to get more attention. Just
You never
somehow
know with
flip it,
Hollywood world,
you
hey,
know?
because so
Yeah.
much of it's
Be a double whammy.
mainstream
Yeah.
media bullshit.
Because it's like YouTube, when he increased the amount of subscribers on YouTube by so much, his videos went up by millions.
Oh, yeah,
his Instagram
viral.
followers went up by millions.
It must
You
have
know what I
been.
mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the
somebody,
day,
man.
yeah,
Good
if
luck.
he's smart enough, which he is, like even if they decide, oh yeah, no, we're not gonna hire you for movies. Like, dude, if he's got that much pull, he could probably just make his own YouTube movies. You know, like he's got the funds for it. He's got the audience for it. They're gonna come back to him because he's got such a massive audience.
There's a lot of things
Yeah,
people get
yeah.
famous
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So true.
Yeah. Once you have that amount of audience, that big of an audience and attention, they can only shut you out for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I've seen like such dumb things become really famous. Remember that chick on Dr. Phil, like Catch
Yeah.
Me Outside?
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like she was like world famous for like a few good months.
She's
man.
still living.
And
man.
bro, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's a rapper now. Like from that.
I actually
And
watched.
she sucks.
I actually watched that interview again. I was on ISO for 7 days. So I had a lot of free time. I watched that video again. It's like the lady was like, "What do you?" She's like, "Yeah, like you know." If you want, cash me outside.
So,
How about that?
Yeah,
How about that, though?
She's like, that reminded me of Linwood, bro. That reminded me of Linwood hardcore, man.
like full dodgy. Like, what are you actually saying to me? Like, there's a hillbilly kind of accent behind it as well.
Yeah. And it just became like a viral meme. Just like Will Smith, man. It just became a viral meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people like just jump on it. They love it.
I love it, yeah.
The media love it.
Stupidity and comedy.
Oh, mate.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is.
When you think about it, even Chris Rock benefited from it. Like, you know, like his
Oh, yeah.
tickets went up by like
Yeah.
$300. Even his brothers started selling tickets, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Come slap Chris Rock. We're gonna make it bang.
His whole family is riding the wave, dude. So just kind of like, enjoy it, dude.
Like, everybody does hate Chris.
So true.
Yeah. Even Mike Tyson had a moment. Like, just.
He hit that guy in the
Oh
back.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, wow.
That was crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
deserved it though, man. I saw the video.
Yeah.
He was like literally like recording a video with his mate, saying, "Oh, that's Mike Tyson." Like,
Yeah.
And doing it had like the most like he had
Annoying
this
looking
arsehole looking
yeah.
face, man. Like,
Yeah.
Charlie was just like,
Just saying peasant the whole time.
yeah,
Peasant.
I'm glad he got hit, man. Like,
Yeah.
he deserved it. You can't be pissing off Mike Tyson out of all people, like thinking that you're.
I thought it
you're
was like
gonna
an
get hit.
international rule. Like, of all people you want to fuck with, Mike Tyson is
Yeah,
not one of
Oh
them.
hell no.
You know what I mean? I thought it was like a international, just like number one rule of people you do not fuck with.
Yeah.
Oh
Mike
yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe the guy wanted to get hit to try and get famous or get like a. Which he did. I'm sure he would have got a lot of views on
Yeah.
TikTok for that.
Yeah, but then
He
like,
got like $1 million payout or something, didn't he?
Really?
For Mike
He got
Tyson?
paid off for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I read that unless that was like
Wow.
bullshit.
yeah, it would make
Yeah.
sense. It
Yeah.
would make sense. You got paid.
Yeah.
You get paid out
Yeah.
for it.
Damn.
Wow. Even if you antagonize someone, you get hit, you can sue them.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
America, man. You
Yeah.
can do anything over there.
That's a good business.
Just go to Hollywood
$1 million for
What are we doing here? Let's go, boys.
It is literally a lion because it's like, you know, like I've got a cat at home and if I touch him too much, they will get pissed off. You know, just go, get off me. You know,
Wait,
like,
would you get
Yeah.
punched for $1 million? Like hit by Mike Tyson in the face, full strength for $1 million? Would you take that?
yeah,
Would you do it?
I would do it, man.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty tempted to, eh?
Yeah.
$1 million is a lot of money. I could be sitting just
Yeah.
smoking incense like, namaste, $1 million has got me for the next
I would
10
never watch
years,
that
bro.
side of my face.
Yeah, legit.
Like fucking Mike Tyson
Man,
punched me in the face,
I'm
man.
just
This is
gonna-
amazing.
Meditate all day long and do yoga. I don't even have to get paid. It's great. $1 million sitting in the bank.
Straight out to fucking Bitcoin.
Yeah, legit. like $0 next week.
Yeah, man. It's just but fair enough, man. He deserved it, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mike Tyson's been training this whole time as well.
Yeah.
And that was a killer punch when he landed. It wasn't one punch. It was like
man,
it was like 6 or 7 punches.
One
man.
punch, I'll be knocked out cold. I'd have a broken jaw, my face be cracked in half. I'd have nothing left standing. But $1 million in the bank account.
But that guy's been hit before, you can tell. He's been in a few fights, that white guy.
Oh yeah,
He's annoying, man.
he just looks like an annoying dude.
Yeah, he had a criminal history, I think.
I think he just had a cunt face, man.
Yeah, someone you really want to
like,
punch.
Fuck off, bro. It's worth $1 million.
I think it was Mike Tyson. It was like a lot of people like, I've gotten so used to talking shit nowadays that like and they just don't get hit for it. No, on the internet, a lot of people,
media,
yeah.
A lot of people talk shit on the internet and they just don't get hit for it, so they feel like it's it's a good thing, you know, like they can hide behind their like the computers.
Yeah.
Not this guy.
No.
Not this guy. Like as much as Mike Tyson has like turned it around and is a little bit more zen now, you know, like he seems like he's calmed down a lot.
Yeah.
He's like at the end of the day, that tiger's still inside, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
You poke him so much and to the point where he's just like, ugh.
Yeah. You know, like that's tiger still inside, and you can see it, man. Like,
Yeah. That's what Joe Rogan said. He said that like people forget like you know, these celebrities are still human beings.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. So true.
Yeah, it's like
So
they're
true.
still like they've still got feelings and emotions, and they have their, you know, boundaries and that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and there's only a few moments where they can just lose their shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there might
Yeah.
be one poke away from that.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson clearly was.
And he apparently came off a 420 weekend as well. So he just had a 420 weekend with like Rick Ross and a whole bunch of other people.
true. Yeah.
Had a good time, and he
All
was
that
on the plane.
gangster energy, bro.
Yo, what's up?
Told you not to touch me, man.
But you reckon if they got wind of like, he paid out $1 million for punching somebody, they put a target on his back? Like everywhere he goes, someone's like, holy
That's what I was
shit,
thinking, man.
I better get hit by this guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's my ticket.
I think.
Yeah,
I think that will happen. There'll be a trend of that happening.
Yeah, definitely. Like if it's not just him, like if it's someone else, like you can get someone else. Like sure, you can get paid.
Yeah,
like,
and just got someone to record it and then.
yeah, maybe now like that's a thing. Like people are gonna start antagonizing celebrities a bit more.
Yeah.
Like which is so sad. Like you said, they're human beings.
Yeah.
We're all just beings.
Yeah.
Like we all feel the same thing. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why they have bodyguards, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Big
But
boys.
I think
with
about
fun,
like Michael Jackson, for example, right?
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, I listen to some of his music, it's like how loving and healing it is towards the world and like all this sort of stuff. Like, how can someone with so much love in his music be a legitimate, you know, pedophile or make him out to be what the media made him out to be? And like, was that orchestrated by people who had kids with Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson was doing some things that will be socially inappropriate, but because he was just innocently minded, he didn't think it was a big deal having kids in his bedroom, considering his bedroom's the size of my freaking house.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, he's got $100 million, take him to the cleaners. Or were they incentivized to make that story up?
Yeah,
you know,
why did it
right,
come
right,
after he passed away?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why has it come
Yeah.
out now? He's not here to defend himself and stuff.
That's what I mean.
They've had all their chance to say something.
Yeah.
I really think that that's possible because we know the real pedophiles in Hollywood are the ones we didn't know about. You know?
Yeah.
Like Epstein and how they covered everything up. They covered all that up. And they just scapegoat Michael Jackson all these years.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You can hide behind Michael Jackson's shadow and get away with so much more because of what he was like portrayed towards.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But no one came out and had his back. Like all these people at the game, Chris Brown, all the people who were friends, they would always say, I never got a bad vibe from him. He was the most beautiful, innocent person. You know, but when he was getting dragged through the mud, no one stood up. Because they must have known, oh, we stand up, we're going to get taken down.
Yeah.
By
Oh
whatever
yeah.
whatever this
is.
Well, when
whatever
when
is
it's
powering
happening,
it.
yeah.
Because the media just goes rife.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the media are harsh. They're harsh. They don't hold back. They can legit change someone's career within a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they portray people or they write off stuff. Like even like a whole nother topic and go into that whole COVID world and stuff. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy.
Yeah.
The way they word things
Yeah.
to just manipulate people, it's just phenomenal. It can just go like that.
And it's crazy, but like also like, one good thing about the internet nowadays is like, people can kind of start to filter some of the shit out. You know, like there's just so much information. It's like the age of information, where like, the media will say one thing, and then someone took a YouTube video, someone took a video on their camera phone and they posted it on YouTube, and then it goes viral, and it doesn't align with what the media is telling him or what the media is telling us.
Hey, a big one is the Taliban.
100%. Yeah, I get you.
And then people just start looking at this shit like, oh, what the fuck, or like when I think last year, or like the media portrayed this kid as like as an instigator, blah blah blah, and this kid sued. I'm pretty sure he sued like 3 media companies and got like 100 mil plus.
Was that kid with the rifle, the white
yeah,
kid?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
I think.
Yeah,
So,
that's one. Those 2. There was another one. Those 2. Yeah. So Kyle's, I think Kyle sued like CNN, and he sued like other people as well. And then there was one before him, who was in one of these rallies, and they just totally twisted like the narrative of the whole situation.
Yeah.
And they painted him how wrong, and they pretty much ruined the kid's life. And the kid sued him. Like, he sued them. I think he got like $100 million from like CNN.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Like, he got like, I think.
But if the kid
$50
if the kid was a nobody and they ruined his life, who's to say he'd make $100 million in his life anyway? How do they justify that his worth is $100 million? You know, give him $3 million at most. You know.
Yeah.
I should be a lawyer for
Be a lawyer for this kid, but it globally, it got plastered everywhere globally, man. Like,
Yeah, it does. It does affect your life. Too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? For the rest of your life, you're always gonna be known as that. Like
that dude, yeah.
if they've blown up something out of proportion that wasn't quite right.
Can't get a job.
Yeah.
Can't get a job. Yeah, all this shit.
Lot of repercussions from it.
Yeah. And like even the whole that kid with the rifle shit. Like, I think the fact that he got ruled not guilty on all counts. Like, dude, he's gonna sue the shit out of like all these media companies. You know, I think like just given everything that's happened recently, like I think the media, just the general media, is gonna crumble real hard.
Yeah.
Real
Oh
fast.
man, it's already happening.
It's already happening. I stopped watching the news after high school, and that was like over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Man, the news is so toxic. Like
Yeah.
if it's on anywhere, I'm like, I can't be in the same room as it.
Yeah.
No way, I can't.
Yeah.
I literally can't. And it's already starting to notice people now. It's like, oh, this has come through, that kind of, and like, oh, whatever. Like the people just like not listening to it because they just don't. They know it's just like never ending. More people are like aware to it. Like you said, it's like you said, there is good and bad to it.
Yeah.
There is like it's like because now people, like you said, taking it, putting the other spin on it. Like, well, no. Not everything they're saying is true or right, and then more people are being awake to that or understanding that or seeing that a lot more now.
Yeah.
So instead of that narrative that they want out there being so perfect, it's starting to crumble.
It's starting to crumble. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, I'm just waiting for like all these fucking Australia. I feel like the media hasn't experienced as much like what's it called, scrutiny as like other countries. Like here, I think. Here, the kind of thing like
at the rallies they were getting quite a lot. Channel 7 couldn't rock up to the rallies that were in Australia because they were just getting abused and like pampered with and pampered. I don't know what the fuck.
Pampered.
They were getting abused, man. Like, pretty bad. Like, people were just
Well, that. Got your nails done. But it's like
my products. Like,
that stems from though, like let's say you've got 400,000 people showed up there. Let's say there was 20,000 people to rally. That's where it's coming from, you know what I mean? Like then you go on the meeting, you say, oh, there's 20,000 people. Like, no, there wasn't. There was 500,000 people there rallying. Like you can see the drone footage from all like the non-mainstream media. You can see all this stuff. 7 News and all that. I was like, no, it's wild. That's of course they're going to get pushed away and get angry at because they're not portraying what's actually there. If they're getting footage of what's there, they're just like, yep, there was 10,000 people at this rally today. 10,000 people, bro. There was like 500,000 people. What are you on about?
Yeah, they get the one guy in the elevator.
Yeah.
There's only one dude in the elevator. That's it.
it's such a big catalyst for awakening though, like how the dark services the light. But I think putting on display like this whole COVID scenario, people can't trust their doctors now. They can't trust the media now more than ever because they've known firsthand that they've had to go in and get 2 vaccines they never wanted just so they can put food on the table for their family. Like I wouldn't know what I would do if I had kids and a mortgage and I had to walk away from my job. I couldn't do it. I'd have to get the vaccine.
Do you know how many people I know? I know so many people. So many people in the electrical industry and things. So much. It's all the same. Not one genuinely. There's apart from a handful, would say, would know that we're like, I want to go get it. They had to get it to keep their family, to keep this, to support that. They'll corner it. They had no other choice. Like there's so many people I speak to. Apart from generally a handful of people that said, like I really wanted it.
Yeah, those are very few people that I met. Yeah. Everyone was very skeptical about the whole thing.
And they just have to do it because
I've always been skeptical in terms of vaccines anyway, you know, regardless of the COVID vaccine, but just like all types of vaccines.
Yeah.
You know?
Legitimate anti-vaxxer.
Eat day dot. I'm the OG boy.
I was like, man, why'd you even give me like all the chicken pox, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff that you get. You get like 7 vaccines as soon as you're born. You know, something hectic like that.
Just give me the virus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
People got the virus anyway. Vaxxed or not vaxxed, everyone got COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, literally.
Yeah.
I can stop
lucky
that
though,
spread.
like reduce the symptoms.
Yeah, we're all dead. Yeah.
I had one vaccine, right? And I contracted it like a week ago. And it lasted like 2 or 3 days, like intensely. But it was only like the temperature change that I had fever. It was the symptoms of like a normal cold. Yeah. It wasn't anything hectic.
You also had no aircon, so like,
it's
so much worse. So I got COVID, aircon on, no problem. Forget about it, right?
But I had my family members freaking around me, and I was like, "This is fine." Like,
It's okay.
There's nothing crazy about this right now.
There's nothing to worry
You're
about.
licking that cup, like it's alright.
Get
over and done with.
You want some of saliva? Here you go.
Come give me a hug.
No, it's so true. But I know so many people the same way. Like if you're naturally healthy, if you're like, I haven't gotten any vaccines from when I was young, when you know people back like your baby. Because you keep your immune system thinking, like, I'm not getting a flu shot over here, I'm not getting all this stuff. I don't need to. I eat well, I keep my body healthy. I put what I know is good into my body. I listen to my body when it says it's sick, it's not feeling well. You have a day off, you listen to it. I need a rest.
Yeah.
It recovers, it builds on, you build natural immunity, and away you go.
Yeah,
That's life, eh? Yeah.
That's life, yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah, they
But
didn't
now
have all this.
anything, it's like, oh, let me pop a Panadol, let me pop an antibiotic.
What do they?
You know, straight away.
Straight away.
Yeah.
What did they do back in the day when you've got like your ancestors? They would cook plant medicine, cook stuff to help you, natural medicine, natural stuff.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have physics and stuff going. Oh, let's like put this and this together. That's all these chemicals, and then here take that back in like the ancient days. You know, they put it in a big pot. They stirred the stuff together, made their healthy thing. They ate healthy, lived off the land.
Yeah.
And they were healthy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even get sick.
Yeah.
If someone did get sick, it was just their time to go. Like we're human beings.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's a natural part of the life cycle. Like
Yeah.
natural selection, you know.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Too far.
What about like how many times do people say, oh, you try like the natural remedy or try this balm or try that stuff, and you do it and it heals you, and you're like, the next day you wake up feeling great.
You can see where the pharmaceuticals have like where they've derived most of their, you know, they derived it from the source of nature.
Oh man,
you know, most of the pharmaceuticals that we see these days anyway, it's all isolate forms. You know, but from like all the natural stuff is like full spectrum type stuff. It's like whole food stuff, and then now you see all isolated stuff in pharmaceuticals.
And it's so hard to get the purest stuff now. To get purest thing, they make it harder and harder. Anything that's really good, it's harder and harder. Man, the doctors, the big pharma, they all don't make money. The media, if their little circle's not working. If there's people out there getting natural stuff, getting natural things, and they're being healthy, you're not going to see a doctor. You're not going to get your flu jab. You're not getting anything because you're naturally feeling healthy because you're eating right. You're having natural food. You're having foods from the right source. Your immune system's strong. Your body's strong. Man, that starts breaking down that. They're not making all the money they want to be making.
Exactly.
Because you're all living naturally.
And you're taking the power into your own hands. You know, putting the trust in their hands.
No.
I'm not against like, you know, the medical industry.
Me neither. No, I'm not against it at all. Like obviously they need to be there. They have their place. Yes, exactly. 100%.
But like it's for 100% to give your whole power to them and be like, you know what, I trust you with everything. I've seen that from like my own family members when they've done that. And they've gone downhill, you know, when they haven't listened to the intuition or looked into alternative natural therapies and, you know, like scoped it out and just been like, oh, this is the way, like, this is what the doctor said, so that's what I have to believe now, you know? Like, you're going to die in 3 months. All right, well, I believe that now, but it's like, nah, like, some people like, I don't believe that, so then they've gone the natural route, and then they've, you know, it's a lot of psychological bombardment.
Mental, you know, this natural stuff's going to help me and thing. They've said 3 months, but I know this is at least going to get me at least 6 months. I think 2 years later, they're still living strong, they're still doing strong, you know what I mean? Natural immunity is like so powerful. You look at the medical medium and how you can change so much stuff. It's all natural.
And the potential that we actually, let's say that let's dream here, and we were to aid and help and fix the medical system, then the pharmaceutical system. How would we do that? Like,
I reckon it goes further deeper than that. It's not even a medical problem; it's a spiritual problem. If people were more awake and more informed and more conscious, they wouldn't have an issue because they just wouldn't support these products.
Well,
That's all things.
You can't say to a practitioner, a doctor, a GP, you can't say, oh, my naturopath. They'll be like, no, get out.
Yeah.
Why are
So
you
we'd
going to a
have to
naturopath?
retrain doctors then, the doctors
But
have to be retrained.
it's not necessarily, we might not have to retrain doctors, but it's like the doctors know their place to think, why can they not work in with naturopaths? Do you know what I'm saying? Why can they not work in? It's like, okay, well, he's not well, go see a naturopath. But something that's a bit more serious, you need to go to operations for, and then you might need to take this after your operation to help you there and then. Yeah, that's they've got a place there. Like, you know, it's not like they don't have a place for what they've trained to be done. It's just it's only by the book in this way.
Yeah.
If it's naturopath, that's natural. No, it's got to be this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not open to that. As soon as you say naturopath and a GP, they flip their shit. No way.
Well, like not only are they conditioned, but they're also like blackmailed by APRA.
Yeah.
If you don't follow like this certain procedure that's in this book, you can lose your license.
You can lose your license.
your
Yeah,
job, all
exactly.
this. So they're almost in fear, like, oh shit, if they get word of a naturopath that I think I'm affiliated with, boom, you could lose your license for that.
Yeah, someone's
that's
got
like,
this, you should say this to them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think that's terrifying, especially when COVID first came out, where they're saying APRA sent everyone a letter, psychologists, doctors, anyone in the fraternity, saying if you advise against the government regulations on this, you can lose your license straight away. So your opinion's just gone. You don't have one anymore.
I personally know doctors that all resign. Resign. Stop.
Amazing.
Stop working.
That's amazing.
That's integrity,
Stop
right?
working.
Yeah.
It'd be a hard thing to do. You're walking away from $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
And now what can you do?
And all those years of study, there's like
integrity.
7 or 8 years of study as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they've been working for years upon years, working in that industry, and they resign.
It's not fucking easy getting into being a doctor in the first place. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's the ultimate test, though.
Yeah.
Like at the end of days, if we pass on or whatever it may be, and you got to face your karma, so to speak, you can be like, no, I stood strong in the face of tyranny, and I walked away from all this money, because that attachment to that money would be huge. Like, I couldn't imagine like the attachment to that. I'd struggle to walk away from $500,000. I'm telling you that right now. You know, like, I'd do it, but like, I would just be like, fuck.
That's a lot of money. Just sell all those other 10 houses that you bought because you're a doctor. I'll be right for a little bit.
Well, it depends how smart you were.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
So that means effectively you'd have to change how APRA works. Regulations.
I think
Well,
that's
just
the only way.
would you have to change the whole thing just so they could work in and develop that a lot more with that whole natural side of things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because naturopaths are amazing. What they do, it's all natural.
Natural.
It's natural.
yeah.
It's what we eat, live, and breathe. So it's like, why are we turning away from something that's naturally there for us to use and work with?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, why is that getting shunned upon?
Yeah.
Why is that not being opened up to? Like, people just like, you're not well, you've got this illness, that illness. Yeah, but I'm going to see a naturopath and work. Why don't you go see the doctor? Like, straight away, they're like, they'll be like, well, you need to go see a doctor. You need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, no.
That's like the go-to every
you have
time.
to go do that.
It's insane, right?
Book into the GP.
Yeah.
Go do that. Go see that.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely have their place. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But when there's other sources that's there and natural for us, do it. Let's get it.
True, right?
As soon as I got the COVID, the first day my stepmom was like, oh, go to doctors and get some antibiotics. I'm like, I don't need antibiotics.
No, antibiotics are the worst. They kill everything.
I'll have some garlic.
Legit. Just chew garlic, ginger, man. Yeah.
And it went
Garlic,
away
ginger,
after
honey.
like 3 days. I was like, I'm normal. I haven't been sick in ages as well.
Yeah.
You know, but that was the first time getting sick in a while. And it was like, I felt like it was a lot of the weather changes as well that was happening. It was really cold that night. I was like shivering in my bed.
But there's been a huge energy shift with this moon. Like, this month's been so powerful.
Oh, you know,
Energy's
it literally happened on the pink super full moon.
Yeah.
That's the night. That's the night that it happened.
Man.
I was like shivering.
The energy has been hectic. This moon shift's been so powerful, and so many people that I know that pick up on energy, feel things, have all said the same. And I'm like, man, like, there's a day I was so wiped out. I was like laid in bed. I was like, I could just feel so much energy. It was like I just needed, like, it was just so much was shifting.
I went to bed at 9:30 that night, but I couldn't sleep. So I was up till like 3, 4 in the morning because I was just moving around. I was like, fuck this.
Were you
man.
watching Bad Baddie?
Watching what?
Bad Baddie. Catch you outside.
Yeah, legit, 2:30 a.m. Catch me outside. How about that?
I'm like,
Man, this moon hectic.
Like picking at my eyes. Actually was. I was watching Severance. Yeah, that TV show. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No, I haven't
Severance.
watched it.
I tried watching it. It's a very slow start.
It is a
So
slow
quite
start.
a slow burn, man. I
Yeah.
was like fucking. I couldn't handle it, man. I'm like, into the good shit.
Patience, bro. Patience.
I have none, bro. Always on the go, man. Do you guys know much about Moldavite? You know much about Moldavite?
No.
Bruce?
I had some Moldavite and I lost it,
Oh,
but
really?
it's meant to shift up your whole life, like just give you a 180 shift.
Yeah. I bought some Moldavite on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
180 shift.
I don't even know what it is.
Um,
Apparently, it's an asteroid hit the Earth, and there's a crystal on the asteroid called Moldavite. There's
right.
like limited amount of it. My bit was like tiny. You got it here. I'll bring it.
it's expensive, yeah.
It was
How
like
expensive is it?
$38 second hand from some girl from
Secondhand.
Instagram. Yeah, second hand.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. Like, but I asked her like, "What'd you do with it?" She's like, "I smudged it and cleared it," and I didn't do anything to clear it. But like, do you clear second-hand crystals? Or?
Well, yeah, definitely, because it's
Yeah.
got their energy on it. 100% you have to clear it.
Okay, yeah. What do you,
Cleanse it.
how do we clear the crystal?
Yeah, you can put it under the moonlight, sage it. There's a few different
Okay.
things you can sage. Run it under like fresh water, like a river or something, or like water that's running and stuff,
Water
and you can
in the
cleanse it through that way. Yeah,
Okay,
in
cool.
the moonlight.
Where
Yeah,
is it? Is
definitely.
the hell small?
Yes, I'll get it for you. Yeah.
I had a small piece and it was like $120, $130.
Oh, damn.
It was expensive. But I lost it. It just went out of my life. I was like, all right.
Was it?
Wasn't meant to be. It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. Like, I've had so many crystals that have come and they've disappeared by themselves. And I'm just like, that's meant to be.
Wow, that's it. I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Piece of asteroid? Damn.
There it is, man.
Brett gets superpowers tomorrow.
I already have some powers, right?
Yeah, it's trippy, man.
That is
That one.
hectic. You should.
Yeah. Very
Do you
trippy.
reckon it's real?
Oh, seems pretty fake, eh? Nah.
Looks like crocodile skin.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's the first I've even heard of this. I haven't even heard of.
Moldavite. Yeah, it's,
Moldavite
Is it positive? Like has positive changes? Like
Yeah.
positive, like no, but short-term bad because it can like pull apart relationships or tear apart things that are meant to be
Yeah.
done
Okay,
with.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if each shortcuts it.
Yeah.
But I was driving on Tuesday night, man. I had like so many emotions I was going through. Like, fucking going mad, dude. Didn't sleep that night.
Yeah, Sahara was the one that
okay.
gave me that. She was like, you want your life to change radically. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like, you have to be ready for it. And she gives me this, and I'm like, I'm ready, man. Let's
Did
go.
it
I
happen?
felt really good on Wednesday.
That was
a
it,
lot of
Malachite.
things happen.
Malachite.
Yeah.
Malachite, bro. That was
Up until now,
Toronto
actually,
Christmas.
a lot of things.
So that was it,
happened.
Malachite.
Yeah,
It
maybe
was
I'll
not.
get one.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Bro.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
it's
That might be a
pretty.
ticket right there.
It's more super expensive. I think it's like $600 a kilo.
Malachite?
For like, because when you go to the crystal places.
Transformation. Abundance.
That's-
That's super strong for males, man. For your heart.
That
Yeah.
malachite.
Yeah.
I had a
Super good,
malachite
man.
bracelet. It was really powerful.
Very, very good. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Really opens up my heart when I connect to it, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What are you more tuned in with? Which types of crystals? Like more green ones or?
All sorts. I've seen the boys before. I've got quite a few different ones at home. All
Okay.
sorts, depending on what sort of meditative state I want to get into, or where I want to tap into.
Right,
Definitely,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you definitely work with the chakras a lot. Like obviously those the colors of the chakras and stuff. You can work with them through meditations and that. I actually had a beautiful experience when I was on my yoga teacher training retreat where we done a chakra meditation, and the teacher chakra yin meditation. Sorry, so she would teach us yin. So we'd be in a posture that was sort of making that area vulnerable, and then she'd speak to that chakra.
Yeah.
Then at the end of it, we sat in meditation, and all my chakras were aligned and balanced and clear. That as I was sitting there completely still, like my body was still, my body just started rotating with my chakras, and my body just kept going, and I couldn't control it. But I physically wasn't moving my body. My body was just shifting, and all my chakras were moving and aligned.
Interesting.
After this yin and meditation in one.
Beautiful,
And it was like the most powerful experience I've ever had with chakras. And it's
damn.
it just goes to show like how once they are really clear and moving, and how those energy forces really work. It's so powerful.
Is it like a Kundalini rising type
So-
experience?
Yeah, I haven't really indulged too much in Kundalini, so I'm actually catching up with someone next Tuesday to go to Kundalini work. She's coming around to mine. I'm gonna do a bit of Cacao for her. I'm gonna do Kundalini, and it's like, so I haven't really learned too much about it, so I wouldn't really know, to be honest. I haven't really gone.
It sounds
deep in.
similar. Like when you said the rotations and the rising.
Yeah.
Kind of like in Kundalini, they move around heaps as well while they're meditating.
Yeah,
So it's
okay,
like
yeah.
a dynamic meditation more than anything.
Yeah, I'm super excited to do it. Yeah, and give it experience. 'Cause it's something heard about, I just haven't really indulged in. So I was like, it'd be pretty cool to.
Do you reckon we could book in something with you? You can run us through like a yoga and meditation afterwards, like a full like. Do you do that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you could do like a sort of yin yin style sort of a thing. So it's like it's real like yin and yang really, because like you move and you do that stuff and you slow down and get delve into.
You guys keen?
I've been wanting to actually come to one of the yoga events and stuff like that. So like it's been in my head, I just haven't come yet.
No, definitely. Yeah, let's link that up for sure. That'd be really cool.
I'm keen for that.
Yeah, be good fun.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice.
Right, boys. I think we're gonna have to end the show, man. Let's do.
Sick.
Hey, man.
Happy days.
Bro. I appreciate this.
Thank you so much. Hey, thanks for having me on. That was
pleasure.
that was awesome. That was so much fun.
Felt like we were just getting started.
Oh, bro, I could just sit for days.
Where's the DMT?
Yeah.